I sneezed before we went live. I admit it. I admit my failures as a human. I sneeze.
Off-screen sneeze.
What's going on? Even I know what's going on.
My wife's calling me.
On the phone?
Yeah.
So you're not answering.
Hold on. Bless you, man.
Thank you. Uh-oh. Danger for him. The wife's calling. If people want to come up and join, let me know. I'll privately send them the link. I'm not allowing people publicly to use the link from trouble. Hey, I don't know. Hold on. New person alert. Blixton 117. Hello from Sweden. Hello to you. No one's late. Hey, Art, what's going on? Art doesn't come around a lot. So what's up, Art? I'm not posting any link. Vaginal.
So there's two crows feeding a baby crow in a tree in my yard. My wife wanted to tell me that.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And unfortunately, one of our cars is parked pretty directly beneath it, the scenario.
Now, when you catch the crows, how do you cook them?
They're steamed.
Oh, hold on. What's up, Chris? That's all. Hey, if people don't know, Saturday, 1 o'clock auction. I have some kick-ass records. I'll show two of them. One record I don't think is easy to find, but this is the fourth time I've found this record. This one, which is a must-own record. And then I've got this Sam Rivers twofer. Two records that are in the auction this weekend. And the Sam Rivers is one, like it was an unreleased Blue Note, came out on this, and I think as part of the Concierge series, it was released. Was it Dimensions and Extensions or something? And then the second record is an Andrew Hill record that was released, I think, only on CD. So,
all the young Jews do. Hello, Mike. Oh, sorry, we gotta go. We got one Shaggets here.
You gotta go.
We got a Shaggets.
Yeah, but you grew up with Jews, right?
Well, you know what? You need a Shabbos goy.
Well, Upper East Side, you got all the Shaggets.
You need a Shabbos goy.
I bet you went all the bar mitzvahs as a kid, right?
I identify more Jewish than anything else.
So do we. We invite.
Oh, hey, I picked up an audiophile record today, and all you audiophiles out there, screw you because you don't own this audiophile record.
Okay, there you go.
Hold on, let me make myself big.
I got you.
Hello, Jack.
This is train sounds, man.
Wow.
So
well,
I don't. Hey, hold
that's
on.
How they started. That's how they started.
That's cool. I think that's cool.
That's the name, Mobile Fidelity.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
seriously,
Melinda,
seriously.
Can everyone belated wish Melinda Murphy a happy birthday? It was her birthday last week.
Birthday.
Happy belated.
It's her golden 29th birthday.
Wow. Super cool.
So they started putting out train records. What's the date on this?
Yeah,
hey, look,
train sound effect records. That's
all
why they call it.
All you horny young boys.
No, that's why they called it Mobile Fidelity. That's where seriously.
Look at the centerfold. Boing.
That's the real deal. A lot of people aren't aware of that.
Now, what's the value on that, Rob?
Huh?
How much does that go for?
I didn't pay anything for it.
$4.99.
Oh no, I think it goes up $30 north of that.
But well, what's the? Can you show the label? If that's okay, yeah.
I mean, it looks like a heavy title of a Van Halen record.
That's what I thought it was when you sent it.
Right.
I thought it was that Ray Manzanera record. You know that Ray Manzanera record with the train on the cover? Ray Manzanera from Roxy Music.
Hey, I need to go get my Acid Archives book. Is this record in it?
You should I think we should. I have this one record. We should just start doing Acid Archive contributions, pretending it's Acid Archive, just saying it is. This is
Right.
volume
Hold on.
3. It
Oh,
was in the
hold on,
volume
hold on,
3
hold on.
edition.
Hold on.
They never made a volume 3, but hi, I'm Mazzy, and
No, aren't you supposed to do it like this?
Ooh, very nice.
wow,
Next on the Acid Archives, this train record. No, it's not the band train. It's really a train. This dude has a voice like an angel.
yeah, I went against Dom's style, and I actually, which is very un-Virgo of me, I bookmarked my copies, the records that I have here. Dom didn't want to do that. He wants to look through it, which I admire him for that. But there we go.
Very nice.
I'm so not a Virgo like you, Maz. I would never
Okay.
do that.
Well, this is not Virgo like doing this, but I mean, you want to, is it? I mean, that looks kind of, you would do it very carefully, not like.
Oh, I wouldn't do it at all.
Yeah, see, I thought it was fun.
Being the
Usually-
helmet, get that together.
Usually, the books Mazzy has, the pages are stuck together.
Exactly. I think that's one of the greatest
Good night, folks.
things that Dom has done in a while. I mean, I love his other stuff too, but I just like, that's a fun one because it's an unusual one. And the records, I don't know, ironically, the ones I picked are almost all major labels, and there are very few major labels in there. Columbia.
This- By the way, this was courtesy sent to me by Joe Marino. So thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I don't
Very
think, do you have any of the records in that?
Probably not, but when he offered it, I like stuff like this. I like learning about stuff I don't know
Yeah,
about.
it's a wonderful book.
When it comes to records, yeah. So
I told you I got ripped off at that San Francisco show, the San Francisco KUSF record. I bought a record, and the sticker that they sell her, it was only a $20 record or $25 record, but it said Acid Archive. So I thought he was meaning it was in the book, and I thought, oh, this is cool. This is a record I don't know, and I'll just do an edition. And it's nowhere in the friggin' book.
hey, Mazzy, I know you really like it when 13-year-olds ask you questions.
Mike, I haven't seen you in so long. There was a time that you and I had a great dinner over a bottle of wine, and we drove around Seattle. We walked around the East Village. And
Hold on.
What happened to us, Mike?
Young Jack, let me help you out here. I don't believe you. There's a parental lock on the Rhino website.
It's sold out.
You can go there and see it's sold out.
It is
Right.
sold out.
Mazzy, I saw you put up a video. You got the UK Vertigo. Is that right?
A little over a week ago, Kimbo came by. We had the party before we all got sick of Rachel and Sue. Just kidding. No, before we got sick, Kimbo brought 4 records over to me. His copies of the second UK Vertigo, the NEMS, a second or original or very close to original Warner American Artisan, and then a Warner Palm Tree, which I didn't play. But the Palm Trees, if it's an Artisan early on, it's the same as the green. It just depends on when it was pressed. And so I finally decided last night and this morning to listen to those. I wasn't going to do it, but with all the thing, Mike Ingroove did his thing, and I got in the moment. You get in the heat of these things, and Mike's getting screwed off from 2 or 3 people on the Hoffman forums. I got banned from that thread from calling someone a fucking asshole. Rightly so. I deserved it, but the guy is a fucking asshole. Or I didn't say fucking, but I said an asshole.
Mazzy acts like me in Hoffman threads.
Exactly.
So Christopher, I did a video last week of my thoughts. My thoughts are the green label, which I have, OGUS, is better. And I'm not selling mine to flip it. I wanted to keep it. But the taste in my mouth with this Rhino reissues is bad. I mean, I have the television. It's great. It is really not that much better than the Bellman cut that has been available for the last 10 years.
I think it absolutely is.
I don't. And so those are the 2 Rhino reissues I have. My other take is I don't like the fact that they put a special label on them. I don't like the fact that they're picking about a third of the titles are titles it's cool that they did them, but most of them are sitting on warehouse shelves. So it's not like they've lit the world on fire.
And remember, the Vertigo and the Warner Brothers are from two different tapes, and one track is completely different. I believe that the American track on side 2 is far superior than that first track on side 2. But I agree with Rob. I gave the original Warner 1, I gave Rhino 2, and I gave Vertigo 3.
Well, I'll tell you this.
But I love. Well, anyway,
if you went up to someone who didn't know Black Sabbath and you said, well, I like this band called Black Sabbath, and asked them what they thought the band sounded like, it would be the OG US. It would not be the Rhino. Yeah. Just the characteristics of it is Black Sabbath.
You know what interesting is, I watched recently, a couple of weeks ago, the Beach Boy documentary, and I was thinking, in it they talk about and they show the cover of Rubber Soul, right? And they said how I think Mike Love and Brian were that's the one that kind of influenced them to do Pet Sounds, right? And the one they heard was the American Rubber Soul, not the UK Rubber Soul. They were on Capitol, they were in America. That's what they got. So it's kind of ironic, I guess. And of course, I'm a fan of the American Rubber Soul, but that's what they heard. And it is different, than the UK by far. I stress this. It's all subjective, and everyone's going to like what they like. We're used to records for 50 years. If you're in England, most likely, and people who got into the UK one in the 70s and got copies, they probably like it better. They're used to it,
Grabbing some records. I'm going to show some records. Picked up some records. Two records I picked up is I was going to make a solo video about them, but I think I'd rather just talk about them here. Is how much are you willing to spend on a record? Because I've always been frugal and lucky on my record hunting when I found stuff, but I made a decision because of certain people I know telling me this is a must-own record. So I have two records I spend some money on, and I don't think it's anywhere near the prices I've seen some people that I've heard people spend on records. Just for me, it's a lot. Okay, so here's the first one, and it's a very desirable record. Boom. Come on. Ugh, what is he doing there? All right. So this record here, Burning Spirits. This is basically Sonny Simmons. His real name's Huey Simmons, but his first record on Contemporary and other records, he went by Sonny Simmons. And I went looking, why was the reason they decided on this? It's his second to Contemporary release that he went by Huey Simmons. So I don't know. If anyone knows that, let me know. So this is a double LP it was recorded in 1970. I think it came out in 72 on that nice green Contemporary label.
Very nice.
He's on here. He does an unusual thing. I think also on his first one, he plays with double bass. So you got Cecil McBee's on here and Richard Davis together playing bass. That was his wife at the time, Barbara Donald, who's an excellent trumpet player. You got Matthew White playing violin and Lonnie Liston Smith on piano and Clifford Jarvis on drums. And this isn't crazy. I think his first record on Contemporary is more free jazzy. This is, I don't know, more avant-garde, not as free jazz, but it's kick-ass. And this record, I don't think is the easiest record to find. And the prices, I think I paid on the low end of what this goes for. But, I didn't break the bank on this record. And this makes 4 Sonny Simmons records I have now. So the one, I forget what it's called, Russia Mushaman, that's his first one. In the last year, that record has virtually disappeared for sale. There's one on eBay for $500, and someone we know that has a special secret store is selling it for $250. But I saw this in the wild once for $70. I mean, his first album, and I go, I'm regretting never not picking that one up. So, any thoughts, people? No one knows anything.
No, we're just hanging you out to dry here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's
Are you on Max Yasgur's farm right now, Mike?
Yeah, no, he's in his backyard. He's waiting.
Mike, you should start your videos from now on. I'm a farmer.
You have horses back there, Mike?
God,
Long
no.
hair, short hair.
Hey,
What's
I have a
the
tiny. I have a
head blown
tiny.
off?
My backyard is that big. It's not that
Nice.
big.
Okay.
It's his first contemporary record.
Mm-mm.
Is that a well? Sorry, is that a well?
Fire pit. Fire pit.
Okay, good.
I'll pull up the first one.
That's bigger than most apartments, your backyard in New York.
When we moved out of New York to here, it was. And I grew up in the suburbs, but I mean, I lived in New York for 10 years. So like getting out of that was just.
I
Yeah,
love New York City, but it is nice. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, Mazzy's master of changing the subject.
Well, you're looking up shit.
So okay, so this is Sonny Simmons' first record.
You have that?
I think he had 2 records on ESP disc, and then he had one on Folkways or whatever it was at the time.
That's on contemporary. That's a contemporary.
Right, but
record.
this is his first contemporary record. This record is all but dried up online. There are none on Discogs.
Do you
There's
have it?
one for sale on eBay.
Do you have it?
No, I regret not buying it once. It was $70, and at that time, that was a lot to me for a record.
Yeah.
I didn't buy it, so I regret it now. But everyone regrets stuff they didn't pick up. So, but I'm glad I picked up the double record. It's excellent, and if you ever see any of his stuff, go grab it. Okay, so here's the other record, and this is again, I don't think in the grand scheme it's a lot. The most I've ever paid for a record is this Mal Waldron
Nice.
Spanish
Holy
Bit.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a very hard to find record.
I've never seen that cover.
Well, it's a ECM record that only came out in Japan.
Oh, that's
It was only. It looks like it was only pressed twice.
It's a different style cover than all their records.
Well, I don't know why it was. This is a Japanese label, Globe,
Wow.
but they're the only ones who ever put it out.
Have you listened to that yet?
Okay, so here's the deal.
Okay.
Once you listen to this, you get why people. It's like a very sought after record. It is automatically in my top 5 jazz records. It's
Wow.
a trio. Mal Waldron, Elsa Eckinger, Fred Esla, Eckinger
and Fred Graceful.
They do Eleanor Rigby on it, Mazzy, but it doesn't.
Connection. I need that in my collection.
No, so I think typically this thing goes for easily over 200. I didn't pay 200 for it. But this.
Did you just find that? Did you find that in the wild?
No. So I've been looking for it. I have it on want lists, and I've made offers to people. But a great record store that's becoming a really good curated store here in Pasadena, Sibylline, which does a great job of just curating and putting stuff up. They've been parceling out a Mal Waldron collection the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I've picked up maybe 4 records of Mal Waldron. Brian McFadden, who comes around here a lot, he picked. So there's another Mal Waldron on, I think it's Soul Note, Black Saint. It's the Seagulls. It's live at the Village Vanguard. That one goes for a shitload of money too. He picked up that one, but this is a very desirable record. I suggest you go stream it. It's amazing for a trio. The sound, it's avant-garde. It's just killer. It's it really is worth. Even if
that's
you pay.
Great when you show stuff like that, because then we get the cover etched in. Like if you're flipping through something, you just happen to come across it. Now you will recognize it. I didn't know that record.
Well, because it's very hard to find. You can't find this. I mean,
I know, but
I mean,
if I saw it before you showed it, I'd probably pass it on.
Now,
if I didn't know about it, yeah.
Right.
Now, most like it's in Japan, like you would be paying shipping and blah blah blah, and
We
but
should
the-
ask Tokyo guy Brian if he's around to check
yeah.
because he's
In
in
fact,
Japan.
In fact, Chris just went over there and picked up a Brazilian record there.
Hey, Mike, someone mentioned a new Impact Sinatra. Are you aware of that? Did you pre-order it?
Yeah, we've talked about that. It's a 45 version of one they already put out as a 33.
No, is it that one? Is it the?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, I know. I have that. Then I already.
All
have
right,
it.
Yeah.
so just go out and stream. I always believe in streaming a record before you buy it. This is fantastic. It really is worth what it goes for. So that's all.
Mazzy, I'm gonna try to get a promo of that to do a review. If I can't get a promo, I'm just gonna ask if I get an early copy and I'll pay for it to do a review. But I think I want to use that as an opportunity to dive into like a Sinatra deep dive or something.
You're the
So,
person. Yeah.
Right?
If you need a reference, let me know.
Hey,
Okay.
I'm gonna share the link.
Shill number one.
Trust me, if I don't want you up here on screen, I'm not adding you. So you think I won't like you up here on screen?
Yeah, everybody's real sensitive about sharing links now.
Who are you talking to?
Remember when people just shared links and just anybody came up? Now it's like,
Look, I'm not into people that do this on streams. If you're
Rob has installed the velvet rope in front of his.
Well,
screen.
and I'm the bouncer and the host, so there's a link. I mainly want Chris to come up. Chris, if you're free, come up.
So I went out last night to a Universal event at the Whiskey for Frank Zappa release that's coming out, and it was very cool, man.
What release?
They're releasing a bunch of CDs. Frank did, I think,
Turn
3
the
nights.
hose on Mike. Turn the hose on Mike.
Yeah, Frank did 3 nights at the Whiskey in 1968. Keith Richards and Mick Jagger were there. Alice
Never
Cooper.
been released. Never been released.
No, never been released.
Oh.
So they had a party. They performed. There was a band there. Great.
How does it sound? They play part of it?
I got the file sent to me, so that's all I know. It sounds great. I mean,
okay, that's my cue.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna regret this when I just made this speech.
trouble.
With a capital T that stands with B. That's right.
I just thought I would share a couple of jazz records.
You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna start the Gong Show. If you show one that is deemed not acceptable, you will be gone.
And he's so snooty. You know, those Santa Monica people are so snooty.
Go ahead, Elliot. Let me make you big. Hold on.
That was you, actually. From a thrift shop 3 blocks from my house. Went in there last week.
Oh,
This Miles Davis.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Tutu.
I listened to it.
it's
not
an
my cup
acquired
of tea.
taste. It's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
He
It's not my cup of tea for Miles
He
Davis.
covers.
I
Cyndi
actually don't
Lauper.
know that. I don't really know that record.
He covers "Time After Time" by Cyndi Lauper.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's let my children hear music.
It's a twofer, right?
Wasn't Tutu a Rhino hi-fi?
No.
Yeah, no, that's one that's sitting on a shelf. They're not selling it.
Yeah, right.
All right, but here's the big one.
Oh, yeah, Elliot, I just picked up a white label promo of that. So what did you think of that?
It's Topper.
What did you think of that?
This is not my cup of tea. This is not the free jazz or whatever you want to call it, especially with the orchestration with Alice Coltrane.
Yes. So what she she took existing tracks and wrote orchestrations and put them over it.
But this is a minimum of $50 record. This is I played it I cleaned it and played it. Near mint. Literally the vinyl is spotless and it plays with no issues whatsoever. And I looked it up. It looks like came out in 72. Minimum $50, a lot selling for $100 or more.
You didn't pay that much for it, though.
I paid $4 for them each.
Nice.
Where did you get at where? Thrift store?
There's a thrift or antique store just 3 blocks from my house. She's getting stuff in from people selling it on consignment for. Basically, she wants either $5 or $10 for them. She looks at them, and if they're priced below $40, she'll take $5 for them. If they're priced above $40, she'll take $10 for them. But I brought her like 35 records, and I wasn't going to sit there while she went through them. And we negotiated a little bit. And I said, well, I'm not going to pay $5 for all these records. I said, I took out 20. I said, I'll buy these 20 for $5. And then she goes, well, I'll let you have the rest of these for $3. So I ended up buying 35 records for some of them 20 for $5 and
$5 total?
No, $5 a record.
Piece.
And 15 records for $3, which breaks it down to about $4.25 or something, a little less than that. But some pristine stuff, a lot of R&B on the British label Charlie, some chess stuff, and there's a bunch of crap to go through to find it. But evidently, somebody's bringing her stuff that she's selling on consignment and just wants to unload a lot of stuff. So I'm headed back there. There was a little bit I didn't get to look for. So once I get all these cleaned, I'm going to head back up there and get some more. A lot of R&B. I got.
Elliot.
Do what?
Never mind.
I'll look for it. But anyway, Rob, I just wanted to share those jazz records with everybody.
Awesome.
And I'll let you. I'll step on the side now.
You can hang out if you'd like, Elliot.
Well, you've hurt my feelings though, Rob.
Hey,
You have a stainless steel disposition, Elliot.
Can I answer Fluffy? He asked earlier about a club called there's a club. It's not there anymore, and I never went to it. It's off of Divisadero, I think on Hayes, and it was a jazz club. I know about it, the both and that's it. But it's not there anymore. It's been a few incarnations after, but I've heard of it. In fact, I lived in the Western Addition about 6 on Hayes and Broderick near it at one point. But yeah, I know about it. Original vinyl is great. Yeah, originals vinyl is great on Hayes and Fillmore.
Just because of its size, I wouldn't call. They're a great store. I think they've kind of created a niche for themselves.
To answer Aggie's or respond to what Aggie said about he hadn't found a thrift store owner with a heart like that. First of all, I went to school with her. She's a couple of grades ahead of me in school. And second of all, the guy's got a bunch more records he wants to bring up there. And so she's trying to clear out as much as she can to make room for the other stuff. And like most thrift stores, there's hardly any room to move around. So if they can move product, they're going to move product.
Did you ever date her?
My brother did. My older brother dated her.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
You know what we call girls like that, Jim?
The Village Bicycle?
No, we call them hand-me-downs.
But I was more friends with her younger sister, who was the most beautiful girl you could imagine in high school. And I saw her the other day, and she's still mighty pretty at 65.
Elliot, do you collect 78s?
I have a little bit, but I got away from that a few years ago.
So you can play them? Your turntable does 78?
I do have a 78 stylus on that I can switch out for one of and play them, but it's just too much trouble. I just don't do it. I'd rather buy a compilation of 78 songs taken off of 78s. Because they're so dirt cheap, you can find some.
I recently got a Ellington. It was a compilation of his 78s. It sounds okay. I mean, it's not great, but there's not as much static as I'd imagine on a regular 78. And then I do want to get some Bessie Smith. I have some old. What's up?
I'm just gonna say, Stefan,
blow that up, Rob. Blow that up.
How long have you? Well, You know what they say? The hands are the eyes to the soul.
That's
No,
right.
Hold on, Stefan. Stefan's been around for, I'm guessing, going on 2 years. Am I wrong? This is literally the funniest fucking thing you've ever posted.
Mike,
I bet
if
you, I
you're
bet
looking-
you Dr. Robert made him smoke a cigar. That's why.
Mike, if you're looking for Bessie Smith, there's Columbia, I believe it was. There's double records. There's 5 double records. You can buy them for $3 or $4 or $5.
Yeah.
70s. Yeah.
My
a
local
piece.
my local has 2 of them for like $3 a piece.
I ended up getting them. Getting them
The
all
original
a while
covers
back,
from
and
the covers from the 60s are nice. Now the single
I
ones.
think the most I paid for one of them was like $8, and most of them I got for $3 or $4.
I just want to have her in my collection. I don't need to have everything, but you know, the thing is, I kind of debate having that early stuff because I could just stream it and sonically, like, am I getting that much more edge from getting it on LP? But there is something about having the physical thing in the
Yeah.
collection too.
The double 70s ones are just perfect. You know, they're
Next time
360s. They're fine.
And nobody's picking that up. Next time I go, I'm sure it'll still be there. I'll
Yeah.
grab it.
Hey, now, Elliot, when you find those jazz titles and you don't care for them, give me a shout out.
Oh, I cleaned them up. I'm gonna sell the ones I don't care for and keep the ones I like. I
No,
have
Well,
when you
hold
go
on.
to sell them, let me know.
What's the does anybody know like the history of Bessie Smith? I mean, I know she recorded in the 20s. I mean, as early as the 20s. And I don't know where she started in terms of if she, you know, if she was, you know, doing tours.
Church singer. Like
Okay.
I was thinking, wasn't
Okay.
Bessie working at a whorehouse as a
I have no clue.
not as a as a young
a
girl
whorehouse
working
church live workspace.
Okay.
as a maid or something, you know, where when she was young and she would sing
Okay.
there in the parlor for you know, for nickels and dimes.
Okay.
If I'm
Okay.
not mistaken. I think Bessie's, I don't think she was a church singer at all. I don't think
Hey,
so.
Okay.
Hey, Richard, can you give a link to it so Mike can watch it and be educated?
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Richard has a channel, but if you can provide the link, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, if it's on YouTube,
Richard has
I
a great
could
channel.
I could search for it too. Just the artists I'm interested in, you know, multiple reasons.
I picked up some CDs today. Occasionally, I do pick up the CDs. Yeah. Stop giggling, Elliot. You're making me upset. I picked up an Italian 80s reissue of this, but this is quite excellent. And this is
Yeah.
the German version
Okay.
of Town Hall. It's good.
I have the original.
I didn't know about this about, I don't know, 15 years ago. They put out a prestige CD box with stuff I think he was a sideman on.
Oh,
That's
cool.
why it's called Side Steps. This is a promo sampler.
Huh.
So it wasn't
What
for
a-
sale.
What a great title. That's a great title.
Yeah.
If you want just one, this is the first. This of the 70s, the world's greatest blues singer. And then
Okay.
they did double album, and then they did subsequent volumes. If you get one it came with an insert book, which is kind of nice. So it's hard to find the book with it, but check that out. Otherwise, I don't have the other volumes of those, but I do have the 6i.
Ooh,
Separate ones.
that's nice. Yeah, that looks
Now,
good.
obviously, these are 6i. I mean, for this type of music, they sound great. These are kind of, you know, some of them are scratched, some are better than others.
Yep.
They're
Oh,
all
very cool. Very nice.
I see the first one Mazzy showed a lot.
Yeah, you see these, and there's I think there's 3 volumes of these. If people are CD fans, there's a great CD box. I think it's 2 or 3 CDs that has all this stuff in it. And you're right; these are old recordings, so you don't need any fancy schmancy thing. These are the 360s. These are from the 70s, so these are, you know, we play these in the store a lot. They're just fun to put on, and that's why I like the CDs too. I play them when I'm working, the CDs more than I play the records, actually. But
I have a Billie Holiday that looks like that. It's got a. It's a
it was that same series.
Yeah.
And then remember around this time, Columbia did all these. They did like
Yeah.
big Spiderback stuff.
I got 2 Louis Armstrongs that look like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love. It's funny. The jazz bums never kind of talk about that. Nobody does around here. That Louis Armstrong, big Spiderback, Billie Holiday. That like the 30s.
You know what? I think you have to be over 70 to talk about it.
Well, I'm getting into it. I feel like I want a complete jazz collection.
It's not an either or, but I mean, this is like the roots of jazz. This stuff.
Yeah, and I want that early stuff. And
yeah.
I just put and it's cheap stuff. It's not like it's hard to get or
Who's the
expensive.
artist? It's Bessie Smith. That's who the artist is.
And look at that.
Are you talking about the artist who painted this?
Can you just show that last one you showed, the pink one? Look who's on it with her. Bessie Smith with Louis Armstrong, it says. You see in black there?
Right.
So you got Louis with her.
Let's see who else. You probably got oh my God, it's in a paper sleeve. Sue me.
Oh my God, trash.
I know. I mean, it's extensive. Let's see. These are 1923, 1925.
That's like crazy.
Yeah.
And it's important to point out this series is
John Hammond. John Hammond's son.
It's in chronological order of her recordings. That's the first one.
Okay, let's see them.
There you go.
There's the second one.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
There we go. Third. I don't know if that's the third or fourth, but this one came out in 71.
Okay.
They came out in 70, 71, and 72.
Do you have the book with it?
That one's at my shop. That's at my shop.
I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and look at how many of them have the booklets in them.
They have another one at the shop too with a different cover. So
Hey,
whatever.
hold on 1 second. I don't mean to interrupt, but I just wanted to point out something. Little Jack, how long did it take you to catalog 4 records?
You're such a dick.
I think he has a good sense of humor. Okay.
Oh yeah, let's get. That's
Chris. That's Chris.
Yeah.
Hello,
Awesome.
Chris. I haven't seen
Excellent.
Chris in a while.
Chris never joined. He joined the Jazz Bum stream a couple of times early on, and I realize it's Friday night and he probably has a life. But come on, Chris, you got to join the Jazz Bum.
Well, remember he was one of when we had that group with Rob and Chris and wasn't it Fred? Is that what was the?
I think
not
so.
The Four Corners, the other one.
4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
These bands don't last.
Before Chris comes up, I have some more records I want to show. Get them out of the way. Hey, Elliot. Yeah.
She started in 23, and her career was only 10 years, 23 to 33, 180 songs. The only thing that's not in this series is the soundtrack for a movie she did some cuts for.
Did she pass away? Is that why
she's dead? She's been dead a long time.
I know she's dead now, Mazzy. I'm talking about 10-year career.
I think her career plummeted with the onset of the Great Depression, and
she didn't recover from that.
She didn't. Yeah, it never recovered after that.
Okay. Yeah. All right, I'm showing some records.
Guys, I have to run.
Okay,
I'll see you, Rob.
See you, Jim.
I picked this up, and I think they mispriced it. This is the Music Matters 45. And they had it for $25. I think they might have bought it.
I think so.
Yeah, 25? Fuck, I have that.
Yeah, this is excellent. It sounds.
I think I paid new 50 or 60.
No, I think it goes for over 150.
No, now it does. But when I bought it new, I mean,
it was good. All right.
Is that Music Matters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's numbered too.
Nice. Yeah, I have
the only time I spend a lot of money for Music Matters was from Chris.
I gave you a deal, man. Sorry.
I'm just giving you
I suggest
sell it back to me.
This is this is not an expensive record. I don't think a lot of people know this, but if there's one record tonight I would like to suggest people go pick up, it is this record. I think they did a couple of these records. And look at the lineup on this.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Wow.
And look, Nathan Davis, I think, is the main guy who put it together. But
Did Nathan Davis play a lot with Woody Shaw? Is that a common?
I don't
combo?
know if they played a lot together.
That's cool.
But I'm telling you, this is not an expensive record. Go get it. It is excellent. It's live. Killer record. And I think there's a bunch, maybe at least 2 or 3 of these Paris reunion bands. I don't know this label. Does anyone know the Gazelle label?
No.
Excellent.
I've seen that record before, but I don't know that label.
Okay. I have an upgrade copy of this record, so I'm putting my older one in my auction. This this is one in the 80s. This Applause labels reissued a lot of Blue Notes. This I don't know if this came out as a Music Matters, but
No.
maybe a Classics, but
Doesn't
it's
come
not
out as Music
cheap. It's
Matters.
not a cheap record, but this is an excellent record.
Does it say who produces it on the back? Is it like Kuskuna or somebody?
Tell
No,
us who
no,
John
no.
Coles is.
No, it
Who's
was
John Coles?
John Cole's a trumpet player. You can get his album on Blue Note that came out as a classic last year. Johnny
Okay.
Coles.
Trumpet
Yeah,
player.
that
Okay.
was that was Music Matters before that.
Yeah.
Johnny
But
Coles.
This Applause is not an expensive version, and it does sound good.
Okay,
Just have their own label there.
están
Okay.
afuera, and they're getting cold right now.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you have enough for the rest of us, John Marino? Okay.
Oh yeah, I got some records. Want me to show them?
No, I'm talking about food, man. Shush. I'm
Yeah.
showing.
I ate already. I ate leftovers.
Chicken wrap.
Chicken wrap.
I picked this up. I don't think this is an easy to find record. This is from '90. It came out on CD here. This is a UK on vinyl, but a nice trio. McCoy Tyner and Avery Sharp and Louis Hayes from '87. So, and then I picked these two up because of one reason. This is a Chico Freeman on Black Saint, but Jerry Allen plays piano on this. That's the main reason I picked it up. I have not listened to this one yet. And then I picked this up. John Stubblefield, who I do not have. I don't even know if I have him as a sideman. This is one of the few leading albums on Enja, and Jerry Allen's playing on this.
I have a John Stubblefield that's on a Audio Quest record.
Yeah.
It's the I forget which one it is now. But
And
anyway.
then I picked this up today, and I just listened to the first half, and it's good. This
Record
one.
Safari, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
it's good.
nice. Benny Maupin right up front.
Yeah. I'm going to see him in August. I mean, I saw him earlier this year, but he's going to be the Headhunter Herbie reunion in August.
Rob, what songs does McCoy Tyner play on that live record from Fort Lauderdale? What's he doing on that? Let's see. Okay. Okay. All right. He's doing his stuff. Cool. Very cool.
And that John Stubblefield, he wrote most of the songs on that album.
Yeah.
But Jerry Allen is featured heavily on that album.
Mazzy, didn't you see McCoy Tyner a few times live?
Oh, a bunch of times, and we used to refer to him live at the Keystone as sort of the Led Zeppelin of the piano, because he, it was a small club, but he was just. I've never seen a piano player like that. I mean, I've seen Bill Evans, thinking of jazz players, Herbie Hancock, Chris Chick Corea. He was like powerful live, at least at that point.
That's how VJ Iyer is. VJ Iyer fucking literally attacks the piano.
There are 3 great McCoy Tyner live albums on Milestone: Enlightenment and Atlantis. And
those are
Atlantis is real good.
Late 70s.
But he's
Sahara?
playing.
Yeah, I think Atlantis is 70s.
Yeah, that's when I saw him.
He's playing hard and heavy on all of them. Go pick up those 70s live.
The 2 more imposing, I don't mean that like in a negative, the biggest guys, jazz artists I remember seeing on stage, and being close to a stage in a small club like that, when they stood up and walked to the audience and thanked them.
Dexter Gordon?
Dexter Gordon, and the other was the other one, and he would, hold his sax across both hands like this, and like an offering to the audience, saying thank you. And it was so fucking cool. Those guys are tall motherfuckers,
Yeah.
and great. It was just, I mean, those guys would play every week, so it wasn't like a big deal. Thinking, I mean, I'm looking back now, I can't believe I went to those shows.
I was
And they were
looking
Did
at
you
this board.
appreciate the music at that point, Mazzy, at that young age?
I'm sorry.
Did you appreciate the
Oh,
music
absolutely.
at that young age?
That's why the guy I talk about a lot, Jazz Shit Brooks, him and I were roommates from 1974, and he got me into more jazz in 74. I first got in maybe really 72, and so him and I would go to the Keystone a lot, and it was in North Beach. It was like $5 for a show, if that, sometimes $4. We probably made $3.50 an hour, so for an hour or two of work, you could go to a show. Sometimes we get free passes, but mostly we paid and you buy drinks. But at a club held, I'm thinking if it held 100, maybe not even that, 150, maybe, I don't even know. And you're right by the stage. I mean, you've been to it seems it's probably slightly bigger, a little different shape than the Village Vanguard, which is tiny, and you're right by the stage there when you sit around, they'd serve cocktails. Yeah, I love that stuff. I love that stuff. I was
When I was that age, in my early 20s, late teens, early 20s, I thought of jazz mainly as that fusion, rock fusion jazz, or that easy listening jazz, and I just didn't appreciate it like I should have at that age.
Well,
I had to discover
but
other
also,
forms of jazz to appreciate
there
it.
was a guy in the store I worked in, the first store I worked in, who was a jazz guy. And so he'd play stuff in the store. You didn't like everything he played. The stuff I didn't like right away, except for Early Weather Report and Return to Forever, early, the first two, I didn't like fusion. I didn't like the John McLaughlin after My Goals Beyond that much. I didn't like the real frenetic third or fourth Return to Forever. I didn't love the Al Di Meola stuff, right? I didn't like it. I didn't even like
Hey, could you give
Wired,
us 5 more
Wired
things you
by
don't
Jeff
like,
Beck.
Mazzy, please?
I didn't really like the Blow by Blow or Wired at the time. I like the more, the Miles Davis stuff.
I just remember a lot of Grover Washington Jr. and
Yeah, that was too schmaltzy for me.
Man, it's
Yeah,
like two old guys complaining about jazz.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
John,
But that's what we were hearing in the
question.
late 70s was that stuff, and it just wasn't a good good sound.
Matt, did you like cilantro? Are you a
Molly
cilantro fan?
you went to Elliot.
Say it again.
Do you like cilantro?
You mean in cooking and food?
Are
Yeah.
you growing
I
it?
do actually. Except when I ordered tacos, usually I asked them. I
Oh,
say
geez
no cilantro.
whiz.
Oh, come
I don't like
on.
cilantro and tacos.
You gotta just go all out.
Hey, John Marino.
Yes.
John Marino is sort of not allowed to be John Marino, so be John Marino right now.
Okay. Did you go to Sibling recently, Rob?
Well, that's where I bought the Spanish bitch.
Right. I noticed that.
Boy, the way
And
you
I would
say
never
that.
call you a Spanish bitch, John.
Exactly. Not me.
He's Mexican.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good store now, right? They got
Well,
some good stuff.
you know what? I think, by the way, the Sibling people are friends with Billy from
Right.
Billy's Record Salon. They
Right.
are good friends from New
Mhm.
York. Those guys came out here. It's a couple. They are great. I promised them I would promote them as much as I could. They really do a good job of parceling out the records they buy in a
Right.
way that guarantees they'll sell.
Yep.
I think they know who their customers are, which is really important.
Yep.
And when you go in there often and they show a record, it's gone because
Right.
they just know the records to show.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
They'll work out a good deal if you get a few records. They'll give you a good deal.
They're all about creating a good culture.
Right.
All right.
All right. So shall I show some records?
Well, I don't know what's taking you so long.
Okay. So I picked up Latin music, of course, and I got this great album by Ralphie Pagan, his first album. I got this at Amoeba.
We don't know who he is. Tell us who he is.
Okay, he's I think he's probably Puerto Rican. He started recording in the early 70s in New York. He was on the Fania label. He's got a few good records. He did a lot of covers, and he does more of a Latinized version of popular songs. And what's cool about this, he does he does that song by Didn't Want to Have to Do It by John Sebastian.
Oh
With
yeah.
just a beautiful cover. It's like he also does Make It With You by Bread on another album, and his covers are beautiful. His voice is great, and they're well arranged, so they're really good. He also does George Harrison's song "I'll Have You Anytime," who does Up on the Roof. And you know what's interesting on the credits on this? They have Elliot Randall on guitar. Okay, so I'm wondering, is that the same Elliot Randall that's on those Steely Dan records? I haven't researched that, but I think it is. But it's very well recorded. Production's great on this. It's just a great album. It's an original, you know. So that's Rafi Pagan. And then at PCC, I got
I missed the last two. I regret that.
okay. I got a rare, a hard to get Latin jazz album, Viva Zapata, on the Speed label. Now, Speed, I don't know if you can read that Speed right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a cool logo.
Yeah. And
Is that the label on the record?
yes, Speed.
Hmm.
It's you know, they didn't put out many records, but the records they put out are really good. So there's more of that Latin funk, Latin jazz. I wouldn't say salsa. It's just good Latin funky music from like the early 70s. So this is a rare one and hard to get.
Where'd you find that at?
PCC. This guy had some good Latin records. He had another one.
Because there's two guys there that sell Latin records.
Oh, it's not the Cultura guy. It's another guy.
But there's one of the two that sell Latin records, right?
Well, yeah, there's actually more than two. There's like 3 or 4. But anyway, so he had this, and I picked this up. I got a little cheaper than Discogs price, but it's a hard one to find, and it's in great
hold on.
condition.
Chris says he did that psych stuff. Do you know that, John?
Oh yeah, I like that Zapata. Okay, yeah. In fact, I got a record that Chris may like. I got it today at a Record Safari. So I didn't actually prepare. I got a CD, Woody Allen. Hold on, I got some stuff over there. I got one you're gonna like, Rob.
Okay, those pillows are nice.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just enjoy the pillows while you can.
It's a comfy looking couch.
Oh,
I know.
It's leather.
Is your TV between your speakers? On
Yes,
the
yeah.
Hold on, there's Billy. If you want to come up, I'll throw you a link.
Okay,
No,
so now I know. Okay, this is hard to find, and I finally got a copy of this.
I have a beat up copy of that I got from that jazz collection. Where'd you find that at?
I got it at Commune Records. Okay,
yeah, that guy. I hope you will talk him down.
Okay, it was $80, which I think very not bad.
VG Plus.
It's an excellent condition. I would say VG Plus. Yes,
I think that goes for more than $80. That is a depressing store. Not for the kind of records they have there, for how much he overprices the records.
The wall records are expensive, but I saw the price and I said I'll take it, and it's in very good condition.
Yeah,
it plays very well.
Yeah,
almost very little noise. Almost no noise in some parts.
I have one that plays noisy, but it still sounds pretty good.
And this is hard to find. It's very hard to find.
All the milestones, Joe Henderson.
Let me respond to Chris. The only difference, Chris, with the MMJs and Tone Poets is the Tone Poets are using the later, newer chain that Kevin Gray came up with. So some people think the 33s. Well, they didn't do the same title, so
this Commune Records is in an expensive location.
Yeah.
So I understand why he's jacking up the price, but I mean, I did go in there and find 2 sealed records that were cheap, and he was willing to come down on prices.
Yeah,
but he marks the prices up so high. I don't even know if you're getting what they go for on Discogs.
Yeah, you know what? You can find good records at good prices, but it's not that easy. You have to really dig for it. You don't always find good records. The better stuff is way expensive on the wall. So So I got this at Permanent Records. I'm glad
Is
I
that
got
a place where is that a place where a latte is $10 or something?
how's that?
No, it's
That
a record
neighbor's
store.
is
It's
a-
a record store, Mazzy. Calm
Yeah,
down.
but a latte in that right? And if that's expensive,
No, so permanent. His
Where is
prices
it?
are a little high.
Yeah.
Where
But
is
he
it?
usually has good stuff. That's a good record.
Yeah.
That's what
Where
now.
is Permanent? Well, I mean, where is it?
Permanent. What area of town is that?
I would say it's Los Angeles, more like I don't know, Eagle Rock, Silver Lake kind of area.
Yeah, but he has a bar,
Right.
and the record store is behind it. So he has a location where bands perform.
Yeah.
And Lance has come into the Jazz Bum streams. Go to his Instagram. He posts a lot of stuff for sale that he will mail you. He's the guy who created the Brown Acid series.
I met him, and he's a cool dude.
I mean, cool, extremely cool
He
dude.
looks like a surfer.
And
Yeah.
he'll make deals. Vinyl Pipers bought records from him. He'll make deals, but
Yeah.
he's a hustler. So he finds the collections and brings them in. He's really good about doing that.
He put out a lot of good jazz records recently, but very expensive too.
Yeah, well, no, he had the Gretchen Encore one I wanted, but it was $350. So here's something that's interesting. Vinyl Piper has been helping Lance produce these record profile series. So it's on I think on Permanent's website. So hold on, I'm sorry. And then go there and watch it. All right. How many more you got going there, John?
Hold on.
Oh no. Getting up. You're only allowed 3 get-ups.
Hold on.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Chris, Vinyl Piper, you might like this. I got this at Record Safari today. This is more psychedelic Mexican. It's a Mexican group that does psychedelic music. And there's a reissue, but it's taken from the masters.
From what year did that originally come out?
This, you know what? I just picked it up today. It's late 60s, 1969. But this is reissued. I can't tell you exactly when it was reissued. But it's like limited amount.
It's a 98 pressing.
Yeah. So anyway, I just got this, but it's psychedelic rock, psych rock. So Record Safari. I got more, but I'm not prepared for it.
We in rehearsal, you did a much better job.
Did I pass the audition?
Hey, Joe joined us. What's up, Joe? Hey, Chris, Thomas, do you have records you want to show or anything like that, or just
no, I'm good. I'm just joining the hangout.
What's going on? What's been happening with you?
Not much. Busy season right now. I was quiet because I was putting together this headshot sign up sheet for this conference that we're doing here in DC. But outside of that, not a whole lot. I'm contemplating a major upgrade that I shouldn't probably do, but
to your system.
Yeah, I know.
You can't get rid of your old stuff when you upgrade. Just send it down here to North Carolina for me.
I gotta sell the old stuff to fund.
No. Just make a contribution to an old senior citizen.
Yeah,
So-
I had a question earlier about that Bessie Smith cover art. Who's the artist on that album? Is it Philip Hayes?
Yes.
Okay, I have a story about Philip Hayes. Bessie Smith cover art.
Oh no!
Album. Yeah. Is it Philip Hayes?
Oh no!
Come on, Billy.
Man.
Philip Hayes.
Fix your camera. There you go.
Philip Hayes.
All right. I'm gonna make you big. I have to go to my door and pick up a package. I'm gonna make you big. Tell your Philip Hayes story.
Okay, here's the story. Philip Hayes was a what do you call it, artist and graphic artist. So he died, and his friends were selling his things, including records. His friends called my friend and said, "Are you interested in records?" He said, "Yes." And so he got the record. He bought the records very cheap, about maybe 100, 150 records. So he called me up and he said, "Help me look through these records. See what do I have here?" So I went over. We're looking through the records, some good rock albums, and amongst those records was David Bowie's Diamond Dogs. and it was the original one with the genital cover, right?
With the wiener.
Exactly. And I wasn't sure at the time. I said, hey, Fred, I think this record is that rare cover. And so I said, well, let's look at the record. We pulled the record out, and it was what do you call it? Test pressing. It was a test pressing of Diamond Dogs. I said, Fred, this is a valuable record.
Is it German or English?
No, it was American, I believe. It was
I
American.
didn't know that came out in America. Okay.
Okay, so anyway, he goes, okay, so he shopped it around town. Eventually, he sold it to Amoeba Records. This is about 15 years ago. He sold it to Amoeba Records for $3,500.
Wow.
So he got and
How
he
much
paid.
do you think that goes for now?
Okay, they had it on the wall for $5,000 and it sold. And then I saw about a year ago it was sold online somewhere. It sold for about $6,000 because it. But I think the one that sold for $6,000 was just the cover. I don't know if it was a test pressing, but it was pretty interesting that he got that super rare copy of that. A test pressing. So it's like a double whammy: the rare cover and test pressing. So that was, great, quite a moment to see that record.
That's once in a lifetime for a record collector.
How's that?
Why didn't you offer him $50 for it?
Well, you know what? No, it was more of a favor, and he knew that if it was valuable, he was going to get some good money for it. I got some records too for cheap, but it was more of a favor. I'm not going to let him make the money.
He's not Rob.
Looks like Billy has something.
I got tons of stuff, but I'm
Hold
not.
on. Hey,
No, I'm not
one
trying
thing-
to show. I'm not trying to show things. I'm worried.
Well, I want to talk to you because you're friends with the Sibley guys, right?
yeah.
You
Oh yeah.
Go back.
Yeah. They were just here in New York.
Hey, Billy, I
Yes.
just showed a couple of Latin records.
That's when I tuned in. I saw some of them. It was amazing.
okay.
I'd never heard of Speed before.
You never heard? Oh God, you gotta.
I'm hip to it now, thanks to you.
Yeah, you know what? Look out for another one called Chuito and the Latin Uniques. The album is called Up from the Streets. Also a rare album. I saw that once at Atomic
Rob, I don't
Records.
need to be big right now, Rob. Come on.
Well, go spread your legs a little more.
Yeah, look for the Speed records. They're rare and they're great.
Yeah. Where are they? Where is the label based?
I think New York. I think.
Oh, okay. Then I should see it someday.
Yeah, and also Cotique is the other one.
Oh yeah, I see that. We see that all the time. That's
Yeah,
like,
but Speed is a little more difficult.
yeah.
Hey, I'm going to show 2 records that'll be in my auction this weekend. I have an OG copy of this with Clay Tyner, Sahara.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. And then nice OG of San Francisco.
Great
Okay.
album.
Mike there? Is Mike here? Mike left.
Mike is watering his tulips.
He's watering his dog.
I'm gonna step off, Rob. Enjoyed stopping by and visiting.
Bye,
sharing with
Elliot.
See you, Elliot.
Elliot,
Bye,
I'm
Elliot.
back. So maybe later this week if you want to do a little.
What did I do? What did I say, Elliot? What did I do?
Not a thing. Not a thing. Mazzy, I'm going to the Little Feet show on Thursday, so maybe too close to the weekend, Friday or Saturday. I'll try to touch base.
sure. Yeah.
Take care.
Mike is back, Billy.
Well, Rob has one more to show. What was it, Rob? The next one?
No, I showed.
He showed him.
Too.
I bought two records today inspired by Mike. The
Oh, nice. Is that the code?
$4,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nice.
but it sounds really good. It's new volume 3.
Cool.
These are 10 inches, right?
No, this is
Oh.
12.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
Is that the label or no? That's the next pressing, the Clef.
Well, the Clef, they did the 12 inches, which were like reissues. So that says, if you look at the back, it says,
No, it says formerly volumes 4 and 5.
right. And 4 and 5 are probably on Mercury.
10 inches. No?
Yeah. They were probably Mercury or Norgran.
And then this is definitely Norgran, this one. Lester Young.
Oh, that's a good boy. Yeah.
What?
How's the condition?
It sounds amazing. You can see the cover is fucked, but like,
Yeah. Yeah, that
But-
record online right now for decent, pretty much any copy, but they happen to be decent. They're like it's like $200.
Yeah, it was like $15.
Nice.
I have this one, Mike. I'm probably putting in the auction.
Okay.
But Mike, you wouldn't be interested in these if they had covers like this, or would you get like a starter copy if you know?
I mean,
You're like collecting the nice covers.
yeah, but I mean, it's a $200 record, so if you sold me it at a reasonable price, I'd be interested.
All right, we'll talk in October if you come.
All right, cool. Also, that's a great cover with
It'll
the
sell by then.
No, I'm gonna keep it till then. It looks like a flying saucer, right?
it's got the Lester Young pork
It's his
pie
pork
hat.
pie hat.
It's just that's a pork pie hat. Oh, is it?
Yeah, UFOs were not as big as pork pie hats back then.
I mean, yeah. Which came first, the UFO or the pork pie? Wow, that really does.
What's going on, Joe? Do you have some records to show?
Yeah, I got some stuff. I got a tip about a large collection that wasn't far from me. I made a video actually about it yesterday, but there was a lot of free jazz stuff. It was like avant-garde, free jazz, modal. I'm hoping to get back there in the next like 2 weeks or so, but it was a huge collection. It was like something like 2,000
Wow.
like LPs, yeah, and all like nicely sorted, everything like that. But it was mostly the stuff I was interested in was just the free jazz stuff. There wasn't any like Blue Notes, or there was no like hard bop or anything like that. It was just mostly like 70s, 80s, modal, avant-garde, free jazz, a lot of Japanese stuff too. It was a lot of Japanese artists, Japanese pressings, things like that. But I mostly kind of set my sights on, again, the free jazz stuff, a lot of F&P stuff. So that's kind of what I picked up. First one is Alex von Schlippenbach, Anti-Clockwise. This is from 82. It's got at this point, he expanded to the quartet, which included Alan Silva on the bass. Originally, I think in the 70s, it was mostly just the trio of him on piano, Evan Parker on soprano sax, and then Paul Lovins on the drums. So this one's just, pretty much continuing with a lot of the stuff that he did. This one, a friend of Dave, local bandography, Brandon, his name's Faust in the Head. He's also friends with Dom as well. Had found a copy of this last year in Buffalo. This is Messer is the name of the album, but it's Irene Schweizer is the name of the pianist. It's female free jazz pianist. This is a trio that includes Rudiger Carl, alto, tenor sax, clarinet. She's on the piano, and then Louis Maholo is on the drums. He definitely expanded outside of a lot of like just the FMP, SAJ type stuff, and moved on to like he did stuff with. He has an album on like Ogun, which is another free jazz label, but I think he expanded outside of, again, some of the realm of what these other musicians did. So those were there. Two other ones that came from, actually 3 other ones that came from the collection. There was some Peter Brotzman stuff, and surprisingly there were things that I didn't have. I mean, I know I've been on like a million of these streams talking more and more about Peter Brotzman. It's hard to believe that there's more and more, but he had like 2,000 albums, it seemed like, that were on vinyl. So this one's called Go No Go. This is a duo of him on multiple reed instruments. He plays tenor, baritone, Terragato. Actually, this one's a smaller one. And then Alfred Harth, who was another free jazz musician, but he also had some like funkier stuff in like the late 80s. He's on alto and tenor sax, so it's just duo, really reeds, duo saxophones. So that was that one. And then the big find in terms of FMP, this was one that I've really been looking for. This is Opened but Hardly Touched. This is Peter Brotzman as well. Trio of him. Again, this one's the one that has him on actually more. He plays like the clarinet, baritone sax, tenor sax. And then you've got Harry Miller on bass, and then Louis Maholo is on the drums on this one as well. So that was a trio as well, another FMP. This is actually a 2 LP. There weren't a lot of FMP 2 LPs, even though it kind of went hand in hand with where it should have really been, because most of the tracks are like 10, 15 minutes plus. But yeah, that's just not many 2 LP ones. And then recently, the last few weeks, I've been getting into David S. Ware. I don't know. Do any of you guys know? Probably Billy knows David S. Ware, I'm assuming. But,
Yeah, he's around. Yeah.
But he's another free jazz saxophonist. His career started a little bit later than some of these other guys. I mean, it did start in the late 70s, but he went all the way until the last like 10 years. He has like 25 different albums on CD. There's not really many albums that are on vinyl, which I think just increases the prices. But this is his first record. I found this on Discogs from a seller in Japan. This is called Birth of a Being. This is on the Hat Hut Records label, which I know we've talked about a bit. Great free jazz avant-garde type label out of Switzerland. Fidelity of these records are phenomenal. So if you ever see these records, they're not usually super expensive. Probably depends on the artist, but there's a lot of like Steve Lacy stuff that's on Hat Hut. I think there's actually an Albert Eiler one that's on Hat Hut as well. That was a compilation of things he did in like the late 60s in Europe. So, but yeah, this is just a trio. But yeah, this is his first record on vinyl. And then the other one, this is another David S. Ware. This is live in, I don't know if it's pronounced Vilnius, but it's in Lithuania from 2007. This is on the No Business Records label, which I know kind of Jazz Bums and co have talked about. There was that John Chakai one that I think a lot of you guys got. I know not a lot of the Jazz Bums are here, but I know that a bunch of you got the one that was the John Chakai one.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I'd love to find that. I kind of missed the boat on that one, so I'm looking for that one second hand. But this was got William Parker is on the bass, which I mentioned in my video yesterday. I feel like he's the more like modern day. I know Ron Carter's still alive, but he's like the modern day Ron Carter. He seems to show up on like a million different albums. It seems like most free jazz records that are from the last 15 or 20 years, he seems to be somewhere on those albums, especially European stuff, even though he is an American. So yeah, this is a 2 LP, got 2007. Matthew Shipp is also on this on the piano. I think he also kind of got around, but he worked a lot with David S. Ware. So this is another one. And then the last one is actually the one record that came from that collection that I looked at this past weekend that I wasn't familiar with. This is called Solar Plexus. I was not familiar at all. This is from, I think this is actually from Switzerland as well. This is from 1983. It's just a duo, bass and then soprano, tenor, bass, sax, and then wooden flute. So just a duo, again, free jazz, just boring stuff. Most people are not interested in that, but that's what I love. So that's what I've been kind of continuing to collect.
You're a good salesman, Joe.
Yeah, but I have a question actually for Billy. I've been meaning to talk with Billy. Billy, I'm coming to New York in early July, but I'm coming at the beginning of the week. I know that you're not usually open.
No, actually, thanks for bringing that up, Joe.
Oh,
okay.
Easy segue. Yeah, so this Saturday will be the 1-year anniversary of Billy's record, Ceylon.
Congratulations.
Thank you, cheers. I thank you guys for helping me get there. And then the day after that, we're going to be open every day for the summer.
Okay.
To kind of catch people from out of town, because, you know, it's like last summer I was there on weekends being like, why am I here on this? You know, it's like people leave and stuff. So the summer hours will be every day. On Saturday, we're going to do a sale, 20% off everything in the store. I'm going to be dropping a bunch of crazy records. Like
Don't you still have the cot by the humming guru in the back in case he needs a place to crash?
Yeah, no, I do. I think Dom's staying there during WFNU.
Okay.
Are you guys familiar with John Coltrane's Love Supreme?
Never heard of it.
So this is a first mono VG Plus. We'll be selling that on Saturday.
Nice.
That's what do you have it listed for?
I don't know, like $400 maybe. Something nice, something to get him in the door, you know.
Yeah.
That's a good price.
That's a
400
good price, yeah.
Or wait, 480. So it goes down to.
Oh, it just went up.
No, I mean, I gotta I'm the dealers that I know it's 20% off, so I gotta tack that on.
Yeah, I hate when
I know.
stores do that. They put a 20% off sale, but they mark it up first, and it's on sale. So
We were
retail
in
is
Philadelphia. I was at the Vinyl Con in Philadelphia, and the guy selling records next to me, he had all $80 record would be $180, and be half off all the record. Every record he had was double the price, so he would get kind of naive people coming to his table being like, honey, they're all half off, you know,
But I mean, I understand a shuckster at a record show, but that just kind of goes against building a kind of customer base. And
no, I was thinking about even doing 25% off anything on the floor and 20% off everything on the wall, and just kind of just get rid of a bunch of things. And
you could just say you could have tiers, anything under $100, whatever, and then anything on,
well,
if you don't make it too complicated.
You got a customer, but he won't be in New York.
But if you're in New York, come say hi to me on Saturday.
If you walk in wearing a tallis, you get an extra 10%.
That's it. So if anyone's watching and they walk in wearing a tallis, they get 30% off.
Hey,
you heard it here first.
If you don't know what a tallis is,
I don't know.
Show your cleavage too. He'll give you some off for that.
Hey, Billy, can I show you a record or everybody? You ever seen this guy, Benitez?
Yeah, the rest of us will close our eyes, John.
Benitez? You ever heard of this guy?
I have. I haven't seen that record, but I've heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he has 2 really good records. He has a third one that's a little different, but this is more Latin jazz. It's kind of like if you take Santana meets El Chicano. It has a real smooth sound to it. And I got this at Atomic Records for cheap, but it should go for a lot more money. And I want to get
What
the
era?
second he did. How's that?
What year?
1975. Look at this back cover. He actually took lessons from Segovia, I believe, but he would hang around with the Latin crowd like Eddie Palmieri and Tito Puente.
Hell yeah!
And he decided to make a Latin jazz album. It's really good, really good.
I see that he's playing an acoustic guitar. Is there electric instruments?
He does electric on the album.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that's false advertising.
Yeah,
that was the leftover pictures from his glamour shot.
Yeah,
Via Records. You know Via?
Yeah, I see that a lot.
Via con Dios?
Yeah, Via. Via a la chingada. So anyway, so that's a good one to look for. It's not a common record either.
No, I've been really into the Latin jazz, buying a bunch. There's a bunch here, I sold that Pacheco and flute last week, so I found another one.
In fact, Sibylline Records, or what's the name? What's the guy's name from Sibylline? Shane. Shane has that Joe Batan Salsoul.
Yeah, imported from New York City.
Exactly. He has it on the wall.
From me.
I know. He had it on the wall.
Yeah, I'm like, he can't get Latin records, so I made sure he went home with some.
Yeah, good for him. I don't know if he sold it though. I saw it one day up there. I picked this up at Record Safari today, which is a good record. It's a reissue.
I left that there.
Yeah, it's a good record.
I think I have.
Don't you have that, Rob? Everyone on this page has that.
No, I have a green label of that.
I think I even have that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
He has a lot of there's a few different Cedar Waltons on Prestige from that time period they're all kind of rare in a way.
Yeah.
I like the mahogany record better.
This is 1990 OJC.
Yeah.
Those are all those are on the wall with different screens at Home Depot, depending on your floor.
Oh, geez,
Hey, you know what's kind of cool about Record Safari? You always find white label promos.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a good
So-
one.
yeah. You know, it's why not?
I
Yeah.
love that. The basement tapes. That's
Yeah, yeah. white
result
label.
of the Great White Wonder.
Yeah. So I got that today, and a few other things.
I found this today. This very interesting record. It's called Kundalini. It's Perry Robinson, Nana Vashan. Does anyone know how to pronounce that guy's name?
Is it
Vasconcelos.
Vasconcelos.
Yeah, Vasconcelos.
And then Badal Roy. But I just needle dropped it really, but it was like really hypnotic percussion, and then there's like tablas, and there's a lot of clarinet, and I love the sound of the clarinet against like sort of these like meditative tabla rhythms and stuff.
Do you keep a water damage cover bin at your store?
No, I will just label that, but I will have a bin moving forward that's like, you know, like well loved or something, because I have like I started a box called Jazz Starter Pack, so I've been putting in a lot of records that have like destroyed covers but like good discs, and charging them, like pricing them really low, and kind of directing people to the box when they get there and be like, yo, check these out. But what's happening is like a lot of people that know about jazz are being like, oh wow, there's a cheap version of Horace, you know, and the Messengers or whatever. So, but no, it's been good. But yeah,
I just ordered a Horace Silver record today.
Which one?
Finger Poppin'. It's like a second press stereo with the gold sticker and plastlight pressed. So it came out for $36 VG Plus, so I grabbed it.
That's a good record.
Yeah.
Was that on a want list, or you just came across it?
Yeah, well, it's the first Horace Silver record with Junior Cook and Blue Mitchell, and that was like his it like turned into kind of his like standard quintet.
I got that when I bought that collection. I got an OG mono of that.
Is that the Mike? Is that the one with the yellow cover?
No, that's
Black.
Horoscope. That's
Black
Horoscope.
cover.
It's a really
Finger
beautiful
Poppin',
cover.
he's doing. You know, it's funny because when he does Horace Silver and the Jazz Messengers, he has that cover like this, and then Finger Poppin'.
Oh no!
And Finger Poppin', he's doing this. So, you know. Anyway, Billy, what you got there?
Are you familiar with this record or this artist?
No, that's on Dot?
So yeah, it's Russ Prokop, and apparently, from what I read online, he played with Ellington and didn't have many records as a leader. But it's
cool.
just one of the most beautiful records I've ever heard. It's kind of in the vein of like the drowsy Ben Webster kind of Lester Young thing, but it kind of reminds me, if you're a fan of like Johnny Smith, it reminds me of like a drowsy sort of you know,
Johnny Smith, the guitar player?
What? No, he plays saxophone.
Okay.
Yeah. So it has that kind of breathy, drowsy, kind of like noirish, really mellow sound. But
are you keeping that, or are you selling that?
I noticed today it's a framed cover. I have another copy of this at the shop, but I've been going through the personal collection to pull things out for this weekend. And I was like, damn, I have that. So I was really excited to find this in my own collection.
Oh, keep that for
really,
WMFMU. I'll grab that.
You can put everything in Discogs and know you have it.
It's far past gone. It's just so chaotic. It's not. There's no way.
No, I'm starting to find records and saying that. Oh, wait, I have that.
But yeah, you guys should look this up and sample it. It's so nice. It's one that really like got me good. You know.
That's cool. I'll check that out. Thanks for the recommendation.
Yeah, no doubt. What's up with these covers on Trip? What the hell is going on here?
Oh yeah.
Well,
Wait,
no.
on Trip? Oh yeah. Isn't there another one, but with like
Donald Byrd with like a naked woman on the cover, and they're just like repackaging of like this record is like it's like an early Mingus record, you know, like one of those trio records that I don't, you know, one of the really early ones. But so you think this was like a funky kind of like black exploitation soundtrack or something, but really strange. And they're like $10. Like there's like they're not. I don't know how it sounds though. Does anyone?
I think that Donald Byrd one though is a reissue of a really rare record, I think.
Yeah, it's hard to find. We
Isn't
did a
it
video.
lab?
We
Isn't
did
it,
a
isn't it the
video.
lab one? Isn't it the lab thing with Gigi Grease or something? Or no, Grice?
It might be. It might
Yeah.
be. Yeah, that sounds right.
This is kind of cool. I love finding Muse records that I've never seen before, specifically ones that have vibe players on it. So this is David Pike featuring special guest Kenny Burrell. And you know, if Dave's looking like this, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, but he's one of the main offenders of what Mike doesn't like, where he goes.
The Keith Jarrett. The
Who
Keith
likes
Jarrett mumble?
who likes
No,
that?
Dave Pike is a very big moaner when he plays.
So he's playing electronic moans, electronic vibes, and then there's electronic piano, there's ARP synthesizer, and there's a lot of percussion. So I'm excited to
The
hear
one
this.
there's a very desirable Dave Pike record. It's
Yeah.
the Jet Set one with the.
Yeah.
I think I have a Scorpio one of that, and the one they call the Rhino Scorpios, and then the one that's really good
The psychedelic one?
is with Bill Evans. There's one with Bill Evans.
Pike
You know
set.
what?
Pike
Dave-
set. Or
Pike
Pike Peak.
Pike's
Pike
Peak.
Peak.
Yeah.
Dave,
that's-
Pike Peak.
Dave Pike does a great cover of Spooky. It's a real cool jazz cover of the song. I'm not
The
sure what album
classics.
it's on.
Classics 5 or 4.
Yes, yeah, but
He's got one record where the whole B-side is just like a noise acid trip, sort of like psychedelic freak out, and the cover, it's like very marketed and catered towards like the 1968 psychedelic crowd.
That's
And
the
like one
space,
side is
the
what?
space cover, not the space.
No, it's not the space
that's
cover.
Jet
It's like,
Set.
I'm not gonna look it up now, but like you'll see it right away if you
Yeah.
Google
Okay.
Dave Pike.
Don't
So-
educate us, please.
Hold on. Shane Rocky, explain. First, which record is it? And when was their Questlove Whatnot auction? When did that happen?
Isn't Jet Set the one with the? That's not the
What?
one. He's talking
No,
about.
I'll show you. I have it over
Yeah,
here.
That's like
Jetson's
with
not the one he's
that's like the
talking
Jetsons cover. It's like a woman like with like
It's a woman kind of
Yeah.
holding her legs, and she's wearing a space helmet.
That's the one that came out at Record Store Day.
Someone
2 years
talks
ago.
about records. I'll go grab it. I have
Oh, I
it.
have that. Is that the mono, Billy?
Yes, I just found this in the collection. This is actually a stereo New York. I don't know. It looks pretty clean. It'll be going out on Saturday for my.
I can't remember if mine's a stereo or a mono, but I have that.
It's got the ear.
It's good.
Yeah, the lineup. Who's on here? Blue Mitchell, Junior Cook, Chick Corea,
Yeah, it's good.
Gene Taylor, and Aloysius Foster, which I'm guessing is Al Foster for long.
Yeah, it's a cool one for sure. They're putting that on Tone Poet, I think now.
Oh, they are.
I think so.
This
What
is
is
a
that?
cool record on Columbia. Sabu
Ooh.
Sorcery.
Yeah, you know what? How good is it? I don't think it's his best album though.
Oh no, and you can get it pretty cheap, but like it's kind of one of those. It's one of these pressings,
Yeah.
which is like kind of better than the other like Columbia records I've heard. And it's like loud
Right.
and hot and mono and like
Oh, that's cool.
yeah. So
I've never
it's
seen that.
they did a whole series called Inventors in Sound, and I've seen a few of them. But this is the one.
Hey,
to know.
Billy, if ever you find this album called Jazz en Español by Sabu, it's on Alegre. That record's worth a ton of money, and it's a great Latin jazz album.
I will get it right away. There's a story. There's one record in my first year opening that I regret selling that I haven't been able to buy back. And it was at a show in New Jersey. I found a copy, and I didn't really even know about it. But it was Sabu. It was a Swedish record. It's called Afro Temple.
Right.
And but I had a feeling it was like going to be valuable, and it was one of those things where I put it with like 3 other records, and the guy's like, okay, it's $80 or something, and I was like, oh, I can't wait to I could tell it was something. There it is. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But then I looked it
That's
up, and it
what
was
it
like,
does
it's a $500 record.
Right.
So I put it on Instagram for, whatever, for the drop, and it sold before I could even bring it out. And while I was like listening to it, I always listen to stuff right before I give it away, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is incredible. And I looked it up, and it's like it was mint condition. It had like like pencil like notes on it from like the distributor or something. But a good friend of mine got it and he's really happy. But if you
I
ever
got
see,
the CD. I have the CD, so it is good.
it's cool, man. Yeah, it's like it's a convergence of all those things like Afro, Latin, jazz, and funk. And
This is a Billy record. Billy, have you heard of this record? It's sealed.
is that a soundtrack? Is that
It's a soundtrack of
Yeah,
a.
Pat Boone.
Hold
is
on.
that Paul Simon?
Would you just shush? So it's a Pat Boone movie. Basically, it's his Christian version of To Sir with Love, where Eric Estrada is the troubled gang youth.
It's an amazing drawing.
Yeah, it's but go stream the soundtrack.
Is it
the
sealed?
Shove it up your a.
Are you going to put in a slab or whatever they're called?
Hold on. Go stream this. This Ralph
Okay.
Carmichael. This is a funky as shit soundtrack.
Is it
Cool.
sealed?
I'm writing it down.
It's sealed. Sell it to Kimbo. He collects sealed records. Seriously.
I've
had this up. I found this in a thrift store, but I've had it up forever. No one's bought it, but I've streamed it.
Is Lulu on it?
Billy taking notes.
I can't access my phone.
Do you
Can I
know
show-
this label in Waco, Texas?
Waco.
Oh yeah. Well, let me show a few records. I'm getting
Did any
going.
records come out of Waco? I always wonder because I remember seeing in some of the documentaries.
That record.
What?
That record.
No. I mean, out of the actual David Koresh.
No, but there's that home improvement show out of Waco, Texas.
Hey,
Okay.
a lot of the songs that came out of there, Billy, were #1 with a bullet.
Hey,
Have
Mike.
you guys ever seen this record?
Oh my God! Wait, is that the Black Sabbath Rhino?
Yeah.
So I'm going to show 3 records from the late 60s on Prestige that are great records. So obviously we already saw this one tonight. This is my green label.
Nice.
This is my greeny Black Sabbath.
I have that.
This is 72 pressing, but I think the original came out in 67, so late 60s. And it's got Kenny Dorham and Junior Cook. So Junior Cook, we were just talking about, came out of the Horace Silver Quintet. I think he finished up with Horace Silver in like 64. So then he goes on to other things, but like he records a bunch for Prestige. He has Kenny Dorham, Leroy Vinegar, the West Coast bassist, and then Billy Higgins, who shows up a lot on Prestige in this time period. But this is a cool record, for sure.
Mike, if I'm not mistaken, there is some electric piano on like maybe 2 or 3 tracks.
I don't remember,
No?
honestly. I don't remember. It doesn't say it on the back.
Oh
But
damn!
that doesn't mean that's not the case.
I mean, usually they would let. I'm confusing it with something. I think.
But yeah, I think the original is a blue Trident. This sounds okay. It's good. And these things are hard to find. Like there are probably none on Discogs right now, or maybe one. You know, they're just not like you can get it easy. So if you can get it, if it comes up clean for a good price. Okay, next one. This one is a sleeper. This is from 1968. This is the Barry Harris Sextet. So on this, you have Kenny Dorham again. You have Charles McPherson. I think he's tenor. Pepper Adams on baritone. And then Paul Chambers and Billy Higgins to round out the rhythm section, with obviously Barry Harris. So yeah, this one's really good. This is a good one. It's pretty straight ahead too. So you guys know I like that. Have you guys ever seen this one before?
I've never seen that.
Rob?
Yes,
Rob?
because you showed it before.
That doesn't count.
And it's on this stereo. And I'll tell you what, I'm just looking at it now. Let me see. You see that? You see that box right there? Right there?
Yes.
It says DBH.
Yeah, I've
seen that. Yeah.
Whoever is that mastering engineer, which I should know, his stuff's really good. So if you see DBH, that's like a sign of quality.
Can someone in the peanut gallery look that up? I want to know who that is.
DBH?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get my cheat sheet.
Wait,
then-
Mike, Charles McPherson, he did a lot of stuff on mainstream, right? He had a few mainstream records.
I haven't collected mainstream that much.
I don't know if he did. He did more, I think, on Xanadu than he did on mainstream.
But what I mean,
Fine,
I
sure.
I think that this cover is lazy. I think it's a lazy design. But some people like it.
Grabs your attention.
Yeah,
It does.
looks cool. I like it.
Whoever their graphic artist was, because there's Charles McPherson records at that time period that have those kind of colorful.
You said
Yeah.
it's DBH.
DBH in a rectangle. Come on, Peanut Gallery.
If only there was a place to go look this up.
I can't do it while I'm showing.
The archivist made this for me. It's incomplete, but this has all dead wax and mastering engineers.
Well, DBH
during the
does
pandemic, I'm not allowed to share it unless you pay me $100.
Did one of them say that you are the father, Mazzy?
DBH does some stuff for ESP disc as well. I have some stuff with
I don't
that
see that
stamp
on
there.
Hold
And
on.
everything that he has done that I have, it sounds great.
Mazzy, can you have it digitized and then like have AI like organize it?
It is
Hold on, I got it.
digitized, but it's her creation. So you have to pay. It's like paying for those limited edition newsletters, $100 a pop or something.
Hold on. DBH right here.
There you go.
Right here. So let me click on it. David B. Hancock, American recording, mastering, lacquer cutting engineer, and pianist. His lacquers can be DH early cuts or DBH often boxed, which is what we just saw, into the runouts. He does ESP disc, Prestige, CRI, Folkways, Music -1, Music Heritage Society. So, pretty
He's
good.
missing
Cool,
from
man.
this.
If only there was a place to find out who he was. Dude.
Mike, how many examples do you have that has brought you to the point that you find consistency in DBH cuts?
Let me see if I could find it. I'm going to search my, hold on, give me a second.
We need to have University of Vinyl make like an hour-long video about this guy.
Billy's coming there and kicking ass and taking
I'll tell you what, Billy,
I have not slept.
Billy, that's actually so I have a Sun Ra, I have an Ornette Coleman, Gato Barbieri, Marion Brown, Steve Lacy, and Paul Blay, all ESP discs that he did. And then I have this Barry Harris. That's the only other one.
But
Is he still alive?
ESP is kind of hard to say because a lot of those ESP discs are pressed really badly.
Is he dead?
Yes.
Well, all those ones are pretty good.
Say as
though.
much shit as you want about him.
He died in 2001.
God. Does he wear a talus?
He died in 2001. So
no discount for DBH.
Yeah, hold on.
He may have died before.
Respect him as cock in his name.
Yeah.
I think the next, if I get a text from Billy, who's going to be wearing a talus, wanting a 30% discount.
I'm going to show up at your door wearing a talus.
There's his mean
Someone pull up
mug.
a picture of a talus.
Yeah.
He's mean mugging. Okay, yeah, and they have examples. So that's what that's usually what it's like with all the stuff I have.
It would be good if there was a place to find out this information on the internet.
Well, I'll tell you what.
All right,
Billy,
so everyone look out for DBH. I want to hear more of DBH.
I may do a video on this now.
All right, please. Thank you.
It'll take me a little bit of time. I have something queued up that I need to do.
You know what would be really cool is you put all this effort into a video about him, then you find out he murdered 3 people.
One more from the late 60s. This is from 69, and this is a first pressing. So 1969 first pressing. This is Rakin' and Scrapin' by Harold Mayburn.
I've seen that, yeah.
I kicked myself for not picking that up when I saw that.
So this is a quintet with Blue Mitchell, George Coleman, Bill Lee on bass, who I don't know, and then Hugh Walker on drums, who I don't know. But
Bill Lee, Spike Lee's dad.
Okay.
It is
No.
true. I'm not
Really?
joking. Yeah.
All right, cool. That's awesome.
At the Eddie Palmieri show, they were talking about Spike and Eddie were talking about his dad and stuff. And
That's awesome. Isn't he on that? Isn't there a Spike Lee connection to that Strata East title that's like a folk? You know,
Bill Lee has a Strata East record.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's got
Okay, cool.
He's the leader, and he composed and wrote for a lot of people. He was a bassist.
Okay. Okay. And so anyway, so he does a bunch of. It's all his compositions, except for they do a rendition of "I Heard It Through the Grapevine," which is obviously a pop standard, and it's cool. They do they do a rendition of that, but an early Harold Mayburn from the late 60s, and it's got a killer lineup. George Coleman, Blue Mitchell. So anyway, so late 60s Prestige, there are definitely some gems in that part of the catalog that are hard to get because honestly, I don't think they sold that well. Like I don't think they pressed that many because just at the time, what was popular. But usually when they come up, they're not. This isn't like a particularly expensive record. But I don't know if OJT.
That's a good time to get prestige records because you're out of the recycled vinyl garbage that you get.
Yes.
And so by the 70s, even though most of them are no longer from if they were originally Van Gelder records or recordings, they're no longer pressed usually or mastered by it, but it's still great stuff. So
yeah, and these I know that there's huge variety on this on Prestige at this time period. Like there's some other stuff I didn't show, but all these kind of have like a straight ahead vibe. So if you still want that style, you can certainly get it with Prestige, and they're great.
Nice,
Billy.
Sure.
Here is the tallest you can get in Mazzy's merch.
It's a Jewish thing. Got it.
You did not know that?
I was thinking of something else, but that
you're in fucking New York.
I know.
It's a Jewish thing, tallest, not the
that
talisman.
makes complete sense.
Talisman, play my it's not that.
No.
Hey Mike, when did you go to Amoeba? You got an Amoeba shirt.
My wife, her company's based in San Francisco, so when she goes out there for meetings, I ask her to go to Amoeba and send me pictures, and she got me this. But yeah.
Does she go there often? Does she?
Yeah,
go there
you should
often?
go.
She goes there. I mean, she goes there like semi-annually, so a couple times a year for like a big company event.
Okay. Tell her to go to Delphina for dinner if she ever does.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Is that the Cecil McBee on Indian Navigation, Billy?
Yes, I just found this. This is water damaged. We just talked about it, but the disc is fine. It's got some interesting. It's got. I know. Rob likes to talk about John Blake.
Well, I mean, I prefer Leroy Jenkins over John Blake, but
not Michael White.
I think there's more Leon Jenkins to get, but is that a hard record to find? I don't know.
It is. I looked it up last night. I got this for like $20 in Chicago.
That's a great price.
Years and years ago. But it's got Billy Hart on drums, Ola Dara on cornet, which is quite cool. They do First Impression. I guess that's a Coltrane tune. And then, all the tunes look really long. Talking about Henry Threadgill. I'm guessing it's a little bit on the out. But yeah, I'm going to listen to this tomorrow.
I think I want to go another 15 minutes at the top of the hour, and then if people want to go over and watch Steve and Schnee, I recommend that. Okay. I have more records to clean for Saturday. So
what are the highlights of the auction, Wax? Did I miss the
No, I got Al's Culture. I'm gonna do a preview video Thursday night. I might do a little 20-minute live stream, 15-minute to show.
Competing with my anniversary.
It's a video. It's not a live stream. It's a live stream of me recording it.
You don't have a projector that you should broadcast the auction.
We're gonna do Rob's auction at my anniversary.
Well, it's Saturday. Yeah.
No, the anniversary is Saturday.
But it's at 4:00 your time. You'll be open for.
Let me embarrass him a little bit. This is what is refreshing about Billy and Billy's record store, Billy's record salon. Excuse me. Is that he's not one of those grumpy old fuckers that own record stores for 50 years that don't give a shit. He's always smiling, always happy, excited to you to come in and to be a patron. He's great. And I'm just kissing his butt, but it's true. He's a great host. Didn't we have a great time there, Mike? Yeah.
Well, what about
that was the highlight of the night. Me at Billy's with everybody around, sitting on the ground, flipping through records. It was just just was in my
how long did it take to get the lice off your ass?
What?
you know it's funny you say that. I just had that rug professionally cleaned as a gift to you guys.
Thank you. It's the Virgo in me. No, I'm just kidding.
It's great. It's been happening a lot, which is cool about this, where it's like, people are coming from out of town who have watched the videos and have these weird, stupid brains like we have. And they're so excited to come into the shop and, spend a bunch of money, but like talk about the records, learn about stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, You know, it's cool to like be a place for the local people, but you know, when you're in New York, you actually become this like, you're like you have to be that thing for those people because everyone's coming to New York, right? So it's every week there's someone from really far away that I get to meet, and that's been like the best part, you know. And we're
Did you hear
instantly
Ken
friends.
McAuliffe gave you a shout out the other day in his video?
Yeah, Ken said a lot of nice things, and DG Mono said some nice things, and he's hard to please, and so I mean, it's like these people.
That guy's something else.
He's interesting. But yeah, so they talked. That was before this one.
Yeah, this is his other Indian navigation. This
That
one
one's more desirable.
I honestly think it's just because the cover is just awesome.
I think it's true.
But like they're both great records, and the thing is, if you can't get this one for a good price, the one you showed, Billy, is like if you can get it for $50, like that's a good deal.
Yeah.
This one I think is around 100 now.
120, yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's got Don Pullen, so Cecil McBee, Don Pullen, Chico Freeman, Joe Gardner trumpet, Alan Nelson drums, and then Don Moye on percussion. So it's cool. It's got 5 tracks on it. Yeah, it's great.
Hey,
Yeah.
Billy, is your club in Manhattan?
My club is in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
And me and my team just signed a lease.
You told me about that.
We finally signed it today for the jazz bar.
So have you taken possession?
Well, we get it in 2 weeks. They have to give 2 weeks.
So do you have cots in the back? No, I'm just kidding.
No, there it is.
So I got this Cecil McBee record from WFMU. So I like to keep this type of stuff. So these are all the vendors.
Is this next time? That's not next time, is it?
No, this is last year's.
Yeah, it's Halloween next time.
Look, here's the layout.
Yeah.
It's great.
Food. That bullshit, that big food sign.
Mike, can you show us on that map where you first met Mazzy?
Hey, Billy, can you send those dicks a message?
I can. I actually can.
You have to let people leave and come back in the show.
Okay, yeah. I will.
So
especially in Manhattan, to go get a break, they have a coffee or a drink.
It only helps them.
So I'll tell you exactly. So you walk in here, if I remember correctly.
There was Fremer. Fremer was right there.
You walk in this way down this long hall. This is where they check your badge, and then you come in. You turn this way. Okay, there's a bunch of tables here.
The bar
to
the right.
Over in this area, this is where Billy, you were set up here.
And that's where I met Mike.
Yeah.
And this is where I was looking at some stupid table, and I didn't even know Billy was over here yet. I was just looking at some table, and then somebody tapped me on the shoulder. I turned around, and Mazzy has a camera in my face. So that was cool.
Yeah.
And then we ran into Fremer like 30 seconds later.
Did he tell you he had to leave because he had to spit his gum out?
And he immediately started talking shit about Sonic Flare. I don't know if this. You might want to cut that part out.
Oh God, yeah, we couldn't. Yeah.
We did it. They interviewed. Sonic Flare interviewed the Jazz Bums.
It was weird though. He just we didn't even ask for it. It was as if he was just saying it to nobody, and we just appeared in front of him talking about it.
Fremer watches all of it.
I think that I was the only one who had previously met him in that group.
Yeah, we had.
Met him
What's the likelihood that Michael Fremer's watching this stream right now?
He's laughing.
He's not watching. And so what? I mean, we're not anything bad about him.
I'm saying he's watching us.
Guys,
Michael.
Mike.
Yeah. What?
Did you guys see my shirt?
Hold on. Who is that? Blakey.
Or Blakey.
Isn't that a great shirt? That's my favorite shirt.
That's a great shirt.
I don't usually like photographs on shirt, but that's done nicely.
Yeah, it's done nice. It's really soft too.
I hate when they put color photographs on shirts.
Yeah, way to suck up to Billy there.
I've been sucking up to Billy. Yeah,
Mazzy knows.
I'm gonna go in.
Mazzy wants that discount.
I was just to plug Terry Gross on Fresh Air, like she needs it. But she interviewed Questlove because he put a new book out. It's a really, really good interview. I haven't finished it just yet, but
do they talk about Plum?
Not yet. He hasn't mentioned it, but they talk about. It's basically about hip hop, and he talks about. I mean, his new book is like hip hop and like within like the context of history. So he talks about sampling. You know, Terry Gross. You know, she does her research, so she does good questions.
One of the jazz albums is going to be on Terry Gross.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Well,
Does
actually,
anyone-
that wouldn't be amazing. That would
This
be
is fresh air.
You know
Today
what?
there are three
when
lads that learned
when
about
does
jazz.
Terry Gross get interviewed by the Jazz Bums? That's better.
No, I'm gonna
That's
offer
realistic.
Mazzy. I'll do a video with Mazzy where it's just him being gross.
I can't wait.
I've
I
seen
don't know
that
how-
video, Rob.
It must be coming soon. I can't wait. And I haven't. We texted each other, but I forgot to ask him when Baraka P. Dub is going to get that slammed comedy album of Fremer finished, because he got it slab.
Oh yeah,
Slab, yeah.
Yeah, hold on. They should put a tracking device in it so we know where it is at all times.
I have 3 questions. One, is Plum worth it? I keep abandoning the cart. 2,
I've only got through 2 of the LPs so far because I got sick last week, so I haven't heard it all yet. It's good. It's out there. Some of it's out there. There's a little Brazilian flavor on.
I
2
tried
tracks.
around streaming it, but I can't really see me going back in and listening to it regularly. That's why I
Bunch of
don't.
it's a
does
David
anyone
Murray-
have
it's
any
a David Murray
recommendations
record.
for?
Yeah, it's out there. Almost wish there was a bass player.
Well, you could play your own bass to it, That might be
Yeah.
cool.
Plum,
Is that a side towards me, Mike?
Plum
Just
minus 1.
everything. Just to and to Rob. Rob gets the sigh as well.
Does anyone have any recommendations for documentaries or podcasts related to music and or jazz?
What?
Oh God.
Has anyone seen
plenty.
any
There-
documentaries recently?
Yeah, there's the one about Lee Morgan on Netflix.
No, not the obvious ones. We've all seen all
Oh,
of
no,
them.
no. Well,
No,
hold on. I talked about that record that came out for Record Store Day, the Mal Waldron. There's a portrait of Mal Waldron on YouTube, which was made while they did that album. Those
I haven't
performances.
seen that. See, that's a good
That's a
recommendation.
good one. There's a free jazz documentary on YouTube,
I've seen that.
but I'm trying to find Fire music, which they make it impossible for you to find that to watch. Because I think it's only on the Criteria channel.
You know what I do from time to time when I get into an artist? I literally go to like Apple Podcast and search the artist name and just literally like, so I listened to a Norman Granz like biography by some channel that isn't a jazz channel. They're like a music channel, but like this just happened to like focus on Norman Granz. So like I've done that with like Blakey and I Monk and
Mike,
That's cool.
Mike,
I just
are you
go through 'em
talking
that way.
about the vinyl guide?
I think it might have been. I think there was.
Yeah.
I think there were a couple of them, Joe. But
Billy,
that was one of them.
Are
He
you familiar
reposts
with the
stuff
vinyl
that's
guide,
available.
Billy?
No.
What's that?
Are you familiar with the Vinyl Guide podcast?
That's the one podcast that I've heard about. That's the only one though. that
He
I've
has a
heard.
very
wide range.
Very wide range. He does jazz stuff. He's interviewed like Michael Cascuna. He's done.
Good to know.
I'm trying to think of who else. I think he did Lou Donaldson.
Okay.
The audio isn't the best for that one. I remember listening to it. He sounds great because he's like mic'd up, but then it's like I think it's like almost like a conference call that he's having with Lou Donaldson. So the audio isn't the best for that one. It's harder to hear him. But I'm trying to think of
what you
who
can get
else.
with Lou Donaldson.
There's a lot of great ones if you just check on depending on if you do like Apple Podcasts. I know I've seen.
I think he did a couple of Steve Albini things too.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And he's done a few with like Zed Feldman before Record Store Day before, and he's done a handful of. He does the one that I was thinking of that Mike might have been talking about. He does one with Norman Granz talking about how he like had all that stuff with like the Philharmonic and like Carnegie Hall and stuff like that, and how he brought in all these acts and vouched for them even though they were black artists and things like that. So there's quite a few. Some of them you have to dig back. I think it started back in like 2016 or something like that. So some of them you may have to, but you can. I think it's even on your phone, but it's probably easier on like a computer or on a device. You could search like what you're looking for. Like if you type in just jazz, it usually comes up with a decent list of. The Michael Cascuna one is amazing. If you want to learn more about like Blue Note stuff, and a lot of the stuff, it probably was a little bit more exciting a few years ago before like some of these tone poets were unearthed, but there's some great information that he brings in with with how Mosaic started and things like that. So he's there. Yeah, Vinyl Guide is a great one. And yeah, he does a wide range of stuff. So if you like stuff other than jazz, he does a lot of rock and things like that. So
John, have you ever found any like documentaries or YouTube videos about Fania or salsa or salsa music or Afro-Cuban jazz history or something like that? I mean, I couldn't seem to find anything.
Well, there is some stuff. There was a documentary on Latin music, which included Fania, but it covered a whole bunch of different Latin music. There's also a film called Our Latin Thing, and it's all Fania artists that came out in the 70s. It's on DVD. Yeah, there's a few of them out there.
If you want a deep dive, there's Under Paris about sharks under the Seine, and it's going through. It's on Netflix now. It's great.
Yeah.
The best
Hey,
movie.
hey, Billy, you saw Eddie recently?
Yeah, Blue Note.
Oh, that's nice.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, he's in his 80s, right? He's in his early 80s, I think.
He's on fire. He's 87 years old. He stopped smoking weed 2 years ago.
Oh my
He
God.
smoked 10 joints a day for his entire life.
Yeah.
Eddie Palmieri.
Hey, I've seen him twice. In fact, I got a picture of him many years ago, but it was backstage at the Greek, and I got to shake his hand and said hi, but that was about it. But yeah, I got to see him at the Greek, and then once in downtown Los Angeles, along with Tito Puente. And I'll tell you, you know what? I like Eddie Palmieri better than Tito Puente. I mean, he's great. He is awesome.
He's down at his What?
I have a documentary. I'm submitting to Sundance next year. It's called F.U. Mazzy.
Oh yeah, I'm a co-producer.
You said Slam Dance or you said Sundance?
Either or, doesn't matter.
I was watching. Just a quick plug for a small movie over the weekend. This was not my first time watching it, but it was my first time watching it like in a more like critical way. Lawrence of Arabia with Peter O'Toole.
Oh God!
And also,
it's only been
I've seen it before. I've seen it before, but I just got into a mood. The cinematography is incredible.
Did you see the movie theater? Have you ever seen 70 millimeter in a movie theater?
Mike, you just did the equivalent of going. There's this burger. I don't know if you've had it. It's called a Big Mac.
Mike, I appreciate it. I'm going to watch it after the stream. Mike,
it is an incredible film.
It is. I will say, sometimes these classic movies, like a few years ago, I had to continue. I watched Casablanca over and over. I probably watched it 10 times within a year because, honestly, the first watch I didn't compare it to like the fifth watch. Like I was picking up so much more of what was going on. And I feel like that's what I'm going to do with this. It's such a deep, dense movie that I think I'll have to watch it multiple times to really.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, is Casablanca your number one movie? Is that number one of all?
It's not an Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Those are like bury me with those movies.
How about Citizen Kane? Have you watched that much?
Yeah, but I haven't gotten into it in the same way. I do like
the way it's shot with the perspective. Oh God, I mean that.
Has anyone ever seen the movie Hollywood Nights?
Yeah,
like Tony Danza and Michelle Pfeiffer in it. There's a scene in it where these two cops. One is they're discussing Lawrence of Arabia, and the other one goes, "I think they're lyrics to the theme song," and he goes, "Lawrence of Arabia." Never.
If you ever get a chance, I don't know if they have a theater that we have now. Finally, SIFF, the Seattle Film Festival, took over the Cinerama that was closed that Paul Allen had owned, and they reopened. And they sometimes have 70 millimeter festivals, but you got to see the original West Side Story someday in 70 millimeter. Have you ever seen it?
Yeah, that's like a family favorite.
I love that. To me, that's one of the best musicals ever.
There's a dancer. There's a dancer in West Side Story. His name is Bobby Bannis. You ever heard of this guy? He's a dancer. He's
in the original West Side Story.
Oh yeah. Hold on, I have to stop something right now. OJC's no, that movie is horrible. La La Land.
It's about jazz.
Horrible.
It's about jazz.
It's about white people telling black people what jazz is. It's
that's what we're doing.
Listen, here's the problem with movie musicals these days. The problem is in that movie that has one of the best opening scenes in a film and the rest of the movie does not match
Was
that
that the
opening
freeway
scene.
parts? The freeway, yeah.
Right, but
Yeah.
here's the problem with the movie.
Losing my religion or whatever.
They don't start. They start a song and they do not finish it. I hate when musicals do that. Like, just finish the song. That movie's horrible.
It's filmed all over Los Angeles. It includes the Colorado Bridge here in Pasadena.
Right.
The scene on there is pretty cool. It looks great. It looks great.
But Lawrence,
That
you know,
movie
Lawrence
is
of
horrible.
Lawrence of Arabia it had a record of how many people were buying Coca-Colas in those days because those long desert scenes. Seriously.
Well, you know, what's funny is like it's a movie where there's an intermission, and intermission is like a sign of the vintage, where it's like it's almost like a 10-inch record, where it's like it only happened between like a certain period of time for epic movies, where basically everybody realized now it's time to get up and go to the bathroom, and then we're all going to come back. That never would happen today.
Oh, hold on.
Well, like West Side Story had that.
Didn't Tarantino do that?
West Side Story had an
Oh,
overture.
right.
Remember
Well,
on the
just prove me
soundtrack,
wrong.
there's an
I'll tell you-
overture that's baked into the film. So there was like 10
Yes.
minutes of overture.
Well, that's when it's so when Lawrence of Arabia starts, it starts with a four and a
Makes
half
sense.
minute. It starts with a 4.5 minute black screen with just
Overture.
orchestra, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of sets the tone where everybody's, I guess, coming into the movie theater. You understand that when this happens later on, it's the same thing. So you have another 4.5 minutes. That's like how I'm interpreting it.
Hey, I'll tell you this: if you want to watch an under the radar musical, there's a movie called Camp. I saw it at Sundance like 20 years ago.
I saw it with Dr. Robert a year ago.
Yeah, I saw it at Sundance when it premiered as a young
It's
Anna
okay.
Kendrick.
It's okay.
A young Anna Kendrick. That movie is excellent. That is sort of in the vein of what La La Land is, like a modern musical, but so much better.
Yeah.
That
You
movie-
know what turned me on to think to even watch Lawrence of Arabia is there was a little snippet from an interview with Spielberg, and somebody said, "What's your favorite movie?" And he goes into why Lawrence of Arabia is his favorite movie, and he talks about how it's an individual movie that's so personalized, but he's so public and influential in terms of when he's home in England, when he's out in the Middle East, and then he talks about the cinematography. So I'm like, let me revisit this thing, and yeah, I mean, it's a great movie. I mean,
Hey, Rob.
I feel silly just talking about
Hey,
that.
Rob,
but
I'm also
No,
going
I
to make.
appreciate it.
Hey,
It's
I'm going to make a
fantastic.
documentary on Mazzy, but it's intended for Spanish-speaking people, and I'm going to call it "Es la música estúpido."
No.
Oh,
Yes.
I get no respect.
No me respetan
No.
para nada.
I did watch Back to School again. I woke up at 3 a.m. and watched Back to
No.
School.
Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah. Oh, here's a topic for next stream. Your favorite throw-up movies, meaning when you're up in the middle of the night vomiting and you have
What's
to
a
turn.
good jazz? What's a good movie that focuses on jazz?
A good one?
Yes.
Around
Is
midnight?
it- are there-
Don't say Round Midnight. I was going to say don't. I don't
Well,
think
there's,
that's
there's the
have you
Mal
seen this
Waldron.
Mo Better Blues? I thought that was kind of
Spike Lee, right?
that's definitely about like the 80s
How
jazz.
about Bird?
New York.
How about Bird?
Yeah, hold on. Vinyl Rundown, you're dead to me.
A Man with a Horn.
A horny
I
man.
heard Bird. I heard Bird is actually a really bad. It was very poorly reviewed.
Yeah, it's not a good. It's not good.
Who was
It's
in that?
Clint
Wasn't it
Eastwood
like-
film.
Hey,
yes, Clint Eastwood.
Fluffy, I'm this close. Do you have a wrench?
You know, it's not a. It's a documentary, but you watch Let's Get Lost with Chet Baker.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah. That's Bruce Weber, the photographer, shot that.
He got canceled.
Bruce Weber.
Yeah, for like
There's
Oh,
Ma
I'm sure.
Rainey's Black Bottom.
touching little boys
You wanna
like on
name a bunch of-
Abercrombie Fitch ads.
You want to name a bunch of
Hey.
fashion
I
photographers
finally got a copy of this.
who probably weren't fucking
Finally.
around?
Yeah. It's
Finally
good.
got it. Yeah, Permanent
Hey,
Records.
Hey, don't listen to anything the Vinyl Rundown ever talks about, please. You know what Vinyl Rundown's favorite movie is? The Jazz Singer with Neil
Neil Diamond
Neil Diamond.
and Lawrence
I think-
Olivier.
Wasn't Ma Rainey's Black Bottom a movie about like a recording
Yeah.
session where
Yeah.
they did one of like the jazz standards, and you basically see how a bunch of white guys exploit their recordings.
If you ever watch the making of it, there's a prominent character actor who's in it, and that was the last movie that what's his face did before he died, right?
Sweet Lowdown. That's
No, the Ma Rainey is the last movie. The guy who played Black Panther. What's his name?
Yeah.
But he
Oh,
died.
yeah.
So that in the thing, the character actor's going, I thought he was very conceited. He wouldn't talk with us in between scenes.
He's
He
on
was just
chemotherapy.
Yeah, he was dying. He found that out after.
Oh my
He didn't tell anyone in the movie.
Woo! Probably seems like a regret saying that now.
Well, he told the story afterwards.
I heard a lot about that. It's funny. I didn't love the Dexter.
Chadwick Boseman.
I didn't love Around Midnight that much, and I think I got a little biased because Michelle Clement, my ex, my baby mama, was on the set of that because she was photographing Tony Williams at the time. So she shot a lot of the I shouldn't say second unit, the on-set still stuff during that. Yeah, and they had like Herbie Hancock and Tony Williams and Wayne Shorter were actually in the scene, some of the scenes there.
That's cool.
So it's worth it for that.
There was another Netflix movie. I think it was mostly a love story. I can't remember the name of it, but it focused on this young sax player, and I think they're in Harlem. He goes into one of the record shops, and he wants to date the record shop owner's daughter, and he's trying to like finagle that. And the record shop owner is
daughter Billy
is
Billy
collapsed. Running him down and basically saying like, "Oh, so you play sax? You play tenor or alto?" And it's just like there was some dialogue in it that was just fantastic. I'm trying to find what it is. If that sounds familiar. Right. And when you go into the record shop, it has all like Sonny Rollins' Way Out West. Like it has all the late 50s records. It is a cool movie.
There's the one that Mal Waldron did the soundtrack to, where Dick Gregory is a drugged out jazz musician. I haven't watched the movie, but I have the mono and the stereo of the soundtrack.
Has anyone seen The French Connection?
Oh, God.
Of course.
Yeah.
No, the Jackie McLean one.
No.
Oh, yeah.
It's called The Connection, not The French Connection.
Yeah. The Connection.
It's not about heroin smuggling. It's
right. No, so it was a Broadway
It's about
play.
heroin addicts, though, right?
No, right. No, it was a Broadway play about heroin addicts. Freddie Redd did the score. And then the director kind of, what do you call it? Shot it on stage with the actors. But I have not watched the movie of it yet.
And I think he actually gave the guys some heroin to do the movie, right? I think
all the musicians in there were heroin addicts. That was
right.
Casting them.
It's interesting to watch. I like it. And the music's great too.
Was Easy a writer about jazz? I can't remember.
Yes. Yeah, I was.
I wanted to see if I could make Billy smile. That's all.
Jazz cigarettes.
It's not hard to make them smile. Watch buggers. See, there you go.
I have a good script for a jazz movie. I think it would need a exceptionally good writer, but I think there's a cool story about the origins of Blue Note when Alfred Lion meets Rudy Van Gelder, and then they become one and start recording Horace Silver and the Jazz Messengers. Well, I feel like that piece of jazz history could be a great story.
But okay, so let me just tell you something as someone who's tested a lot of movies. And I'm only comparing this because structurally you're describing, remember the movie where Jason Bateman and Ryan
Wolf 2?
Let me finish, Mazzy. Shush.
Shut the fuck up.
Now you know how it feels.
It's a movie with Jason Bateman and Ryan Reynolds switch bodies. And the plot is a good-looking white guy switches bodies with a good-looking white guy. There's no drama there. So you're saying, remember when a white guy meets a white guy and they form a record label?
This is the drama. This is the drama. So that is that's the foundational premise of the history. But you layer on the jazz musicians, and that's all the drama.
Yeah, but here's the issue, Mike.
Also, the fact that they were two Germans.
Yes.
In America.
Yeah, okay, so that's the opening scene, Billy. That's the opening scene. Them coming to America, them establishing it. They're doing stuff. They're frustrated. They're like, we're doing something.
Stuff going.
You know what it is? It's like we're licensing stuff, but we need to record our own stuff. They start recording. They get some people in the studio. They get this Gil Malay guy who comes in and introduces them to Rudy. the whole thing, and then they get the young guys coming in like Lee Morgan on heroin. It's like
You got to make
you can do-
Rudy. You got to make
boom.
Rudy a
Wait,
trans
are you
Native
describing an action
American
movie?
of color.
Hold on.
Come on.
Facebook can play
Hold on.
Rudy.
Hold on.
That's a great fucking movie.
But there's a great movie with like a fatal plot point in it.
Billy, we're writing it.
So there's a movie called The Big Picture that Christopher Guest directed with Kevin Bacon about like a young filmmaker coming into Hollywood and all the trouble.
Oh, that is good.
But the thing that makes it's a good movie, but the thing that makes it bad is the movie Kevin Bacon wants to make is the most uninteresting sounding movie. It's about like three people in
What's
a
that
cottage in
What's
the
that movie
woods.
called?
Well, the problem is,
seen
I just feel like this is like there was that recent movie with Billie Holiday that came out. It was like the People versus Billie Holiday, which was okay. I thought it was okay. I thought it could have been better.
Did you say this movie's
you know,
missing two
No, I just feel like
30-year-old Jewish white guys?
I feel like that the Norman Granz story, that's like another thing that could be a movie if it's done well. It could be okay, but I feel like this
didn't Norman
spark
Granz
that
treat
happens
his
in Blue
people
Note.
well?
I feel like that is like a great movie. People aren't even aware of it, and they'll watch it, and they'll just make Blue Notes more valuable.
You know,
the
just
worst elevator pitch
don't,
ever.
don't call that Blue Note movie. Don't call it La La Blue Note.
Hold on.
No, it would just be called Hackensack. It would just be called Hackensack.
Goldberg.
Hold on.
Hackensack.
There's a
And it wouldn't even just be Alfred Ryan because the Prestige guy, what's his name? Who did Prestige? What's his name?
Well, wait a second. We do have the Mike Jasmine Mike equalizer, and he has spoken just now.
And then you know what it ends with? It ends with CTI.
It ends with
the
ends with the tail to liberty.
Hey, this guy represents a hedge fund ready to finance your movie, and he's saying it's garbage.
You know, Mike must hate like 5 white guys talking how to make a black jazz movie.
Yeah. Huh.
Well, we're talking Germans. I mean, come on. It's not,
Germans.
It's a multi. It's a global thing. It's the American story.
Basically,
Mike, it all takes place in New York.
Mike just described like the Colonel Sanders story.
Mike,
like a white guy makes fried chicken and convinces everyone to buy it. Steals
coming to America. So it's the same thing.
We'll get you to hip in there. We're getting other people. We're getting women in there. Come on.
Wait. And your version, is one of them a murderer, Mike?
That is a great fucking story. Fuck all of you people who don't think it's good.
Whoopi Goldberg when she plays the nun. Those 2 movies.
So, Mike, here, let me help you. Here's how to make your idea for a movie better. You don't make it the whole story. You concentrate. There's a record that Blue Note did that might have been the most troublesome recording session. Was there a Blue Note record that's notoriously known?
There's a Prestige record, you could argue.
Well, what record is it? What record is it?
Aside from Blue Note, Blue Note, you could just do a bunch of Jewish club owners not paying jazz artists for like an hour.
Hold on, I did that.
The club owners could be part of it. You could have the club. It's not. Look, I just feel like that's like a specific point, but it's more than just Blue Note because who's the Prestige guy? I'm totally blanking on his name. Weinstock followed. It's just like it's the story of that studio, what those musicians came in to do, the producers that did it, and then where they played in New York City, and then when they traveled around. That is like the piece of
there's a documentary that's not. Wait, isn't there a documentary about Blue Note that's not very easy to find and watch? Came out within the last 10 years, I thought.
Well, it's not that story.
But I'm telling you, Mike, the way you convince a producer to make it is pick an album that Blue Note did that's very notorious and that was hard to produce, that it then features those 2 guys.
Well, fine. You can look. Billy and I, we're the brains behind this operation now. Rob, you can help the negotiation piece of it. We're gonna GoFundMe with this.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so GoFundMe. Why don't you
do the Chuck Mangione story?
Yeah.
How much money do we need to raise to do
that's a story that would feel so good, Mazzy.
How much money would we need to raise for this movie?
This is a good movie, right here.
$5 million.
All right, guys, I'm wrapping everything up. We went a little longer. Thank you all for coming. Thank you everyone for watching and contributing to the Peanut Gallery. Thank you for your horrible movie suggestions and that horrible movie idea.
I also am going to play Rudy Van Gelder. Guessing myself.
Hey, Mike, start a channel on Discord for the Blue Note movie.
It's a fucking great story. I would love. That's a movie I would love to see.
Yeah, but look at all the license.
No, Mazzy, you always say make the content
Don
you want to
Wuzzle
see.
just
Make the fucking content you want to see. That would be a movie I would line up out the door to watch.
Don was to get
Don's. I could get Don on the phone in 20 minutes.
Hey, wait a second. Here's a better. Here will improve your
Lock
movie
it down
idea.
tonight, Billy.
The movie starts off with just hands.
God. It'll be brought to you. The production
10
company
minutes of
will be named Mark Lastman's Hand.
Bye, everyone.
Later.
Bye.